Classy on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Plenty to get to today. Cardinals.
Wow, baby.
Cardinals are rolling. That is a first-place Detroit Tigers team that they welcome to town after taking 2 of 3 against a very good playoff contender in the Kansas City Royals over the weekend. And the Cardinals waxed them. Crushed the Tigers last night, 11-4. Let's do a little exit survey, shall we? Carey.
Yeah.
Your biggest storyline from last night.
Just the winning ways. I mean, there feels like there's nothing right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. Everything is working well. Pitching is good. Sonny Gray had a good night. Hitting, obviously, is doing a great job. Everybody that is showing up is doing their part. There is not a weak link that you can say, all right, this is an out. This guy is an out. This is going to be, I mean, it's been fun to watch. It's been exciting. And this is what Cardinal baseball should be. This is what I grew up watching. A team, and now you're not going to win every game, but damn it, you're going to compete hard as hell every single game. Mm-hmm. And I think over the past couple of years, that was not something that you could say about this Cardinals team. You can definitely say it about this 2025 team. And it's been fun. So, to everybody, hats off.
Hats off. All right. Jamie, biggest storyline from last night for you.
For me, Carey touched on it briefly. It's the offense. That's a good rotation for the Tigers. It's a good pitching staff overall. And it's funny, but because of the Arenado moving him down the lineup, like, there's really not a lot of breathing room for teams right now. And I understand the Cardinals are rolling. Will they continue to play like this? I don't know.
Probably.
Hopefully, right? Hopefully.
Forever.
But if you look at it, like, Newt's getting on base, Wynn, Donovan, Contreras, Herrera. You know, Arenado's had his strokes. Burleson's swinging a good bat again. Pages is swinging the bat. Victor Scott's, like, the pitcher gets no breather. To whereas a couple of years ago, they were top heavy. They had like 1 through 4. Even then it was like 2, 3, 4, maybe not even the lead off because we couldn't figure out who the hell was going to lead off for this team. And then you had some of your automatic outs. We talked about that. Oh, you got your automatic outs at the bottom of the road, at the bottom of the lineup. You don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's showing these big numbers that the Cardinals are putting up. Like, you put up 1 every so often and say, they had a good night. This is a lot of big numbers that the Cardinals have been putting up pretty much all season. Mm-hmm. This offense is legit. That's my takeaway. Yeah,
biggest storyline's got to be the offensive explosion, right? I mean, they had 16 hits. They were relentless. They scored six runs in 16 hits, scoring in 6 of the 9 innings is what I meant to say. Notable contributions. You guys brought up some of them. Ivan Herrera, 3 for 5, 2 ribbies. Kid could just hit. Arenado added Pedro Pages added a home run. The depth is there with the lineup. Newt had another big night. Donovan with 3 hits. Pedro Pages saved Marshy.
Yeah, he did.
And that streak is at one point he was 0 for 3, and they had the game on delay, and you don't know if they're going to come back.
I didn't think they were. I was
Pages
happy.
hit a home run.
I was happy. Then I realized Pages hit a home run when they came back, and I was mad.
Yep.
I was happy for Pages. I was pissed off at Marshy.
Right. That streak had to come to an end.
It was coming to an end.
Absolutely.
And
Jordan
Pages
Walker
said
had a
no.
really nice at bat too. You know, we were talking about it in the office the way that he has. His whole front side has flied open on those outside pitches. And normally it's the outside sweeper or slider that gets him.
Try to go there.
He kept his head. His head was still. Head stayed on it. Outside pitch. I think it was a 4-seamer that kind of ran back. He stayed on it, and he drove that to right field. With how big he is, you know, when you're a right-handed hitter and you drive it to right center, a lot of that's got to be upper body strength. Not to say that your hips aren't activated and all that, but when you're driving it to the right gap, and you're a right-hander, upper body, that is something. If pitchers want to live outside like that, and if he can keep his head down, his chin on it, and drive it out to right, you're going to see a lot of doubles and some opposite field home runs out of Jordan Walker. I thought that was a really underrated at bat last night. Marsh, your biggest storyline?
For me, I mean, great game all around. We touched on the offense. Sonny Gray and his ability to bounce back after that start that he had in Philly. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, struck out 10. Dude was dealing last night, and that's the type of guy that you signed. So I thought it was a great game. And the ability to, with these rain delays, especially, towards the later part of the game, you can, kind of check out a little bit. And that wasn't the case at all. They just kept piling on runs once they came back from the rain delay, which was, to me, impressive. It's not like something that I'm like, oh, wow, like, look at this. But it's something that to note, like, this team, they just keep hitting no matter what.
Tough one. Biggest kudos, I'm going to piggyback off what Marsh said. I thought Sonny Gray pitched very well. Bounce back effort for him. He goes 6, allows only 3 hits, 0 runs, had 10 strikeouts. I mean, he was masterful last night. I thought it was really important for him to bounce back. This Tigers lineup, not a lot of household names, but these dudes are all hitting pretty well. That's why it's one of the reasons why Detroit is in first. And the main reason is that, the pitching staff is good. But biggest kudos for me goes to Sonny Gray. Jamie?
Oh, yeah. Sonny Gray, 10 strikeouts. Following a terrible performance his last outing, he was dialed back in, man. Yeah, Sonny Gray.
I'm going JoJo Romero.
Okay.
He has not. He'll give up a hit every now and then, but he has not allowed an earned run in 8 appearances. And so, if you talk about the bullpen, you talk about who you can trust in those moments. You're getting in maybe at times where the game it's not high pressure, but you're still doing your job effectively. And this is a guy that I think a month ago you were looking at him like, hey, you're the next one that could be on the move if you don't take care of your business. I think he's done a fantastic job since the end of April, and he's been doing a great job.
Marsh?
For me, it's Jordan Walker. Last week I said he went out on a high in Philly, and
Don't play him today.
This past weekend he hit a home run, and then he wasn't in the lineup, and then he comes in last night and gets the hit, and that's all he needed, right? So I think he's going to have a big game today because he went out on a high last night after one at-bat, had a double. I got to give the kudos to Jordan Walker. He has, as of recent, been hitting the ball a little bit better.
What world are we in where Jordan Walker becomes the defensive replacement?
Seriously, last night I did the same thing.
We are in this is a different world.
Bizarro world.
This is a different world. You bring him in to play defense?
Mm-hmm.
Hell no. What are we doing? It's amazing.
You called it, though, Carey.
That
you said
transformation.
He would develop, and he has.
He has done a great job. And hopefully it continues at the plate. He has a 4-game hit streak. Even though he's not playing every day. He got hit last night. Marshy might want him to cool off and sit on the bench and ride that high
bench him again today?
No, he went out on a high. Like, he went out on a high.
So we benched him again.
So you put him in the lineup.
Like,
What the hell is the logic in that?
It was the same day, though, so this is a different day.
What the hell?
We just call them the Marshy rules.
This is a different day. They played 2 games in that day.
Yeah, but it's not
It's fresher.
his ass. It's your ass.
It's got to be your bull.
It's different. They only played 1 game last night. They didn't play 2.
Marsh, I get it.
Shuffling the shells around right now.
I don't see how there's a lot of confusion here.
Well, because then he had a hit.
Yeah.
And then in the next game that he played, he had a hit, and then they benched him again the next day. It was a different day.
Yeah, he hit the home run against Kansas City.
And then he sat down.
He sat down.
He needed a couple days to play.
The hell?
How can you criticize
Why
this?
does he
He's got
need
a
couple
4-game
of
hitting
days after
streak.
that one then.
He's been on fire ever since I sat him.
But you sit him
then he
every
sat
game.
again.
So he had a hit last night means he should be benched today.
No.
I don't understand.
That's the pattern that's happened, is it not?
Well, listen.
This is
I've
confusing to me.
subscribed to the Marshy rules.
What are the Marshy rules?
You
and
can't
I
even
think he
explain
should,
them.
I think he should be in today. We'll play the lineup game in about 5 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Biggest criticism, I'm going to just skip that one, 11-4. I don't think we're not going to bitch about it.
I'll criticize
11-4.
something.
What do you got?
I'll criticize the Tigers trying to think they're smarter than the game of baseball with putting out a starter and then going with the actual pitcher they were going to go with.
Oh,
because
the opener?
The opener.
Yeah.
What
By
was
the
that?
way, I did say Gunther was going to start last
You
night,
did.
and everybody's like, no, he's not. He did.
And then
he was the opener.
He was the opener who got blown up.
Yeah.
And then they went right to their starter who was
Right.
supposed to start the game.
And then he got blown up.
So that's my criticism that, hey, Detroit, don't try to be smarter than the game of baseball.
Right. Don't try to be the Rays when you're not the Rays.
What was the
Even the
purpose of
Rays
that?
have given up on the opener.
My criticism goes out to the guy, as you could hear on the broadcast as they're taking the tarp on, they're bringing the tarp onto the field because it is about to downpour. I don't know if anyone stepped outside last night. Hopefully they didn't because it was raining left and right.
Good thing we weren't on the air.
You hear the guy go, let the kids play.
Let the kids play.
Or let the boys play. He said, "Let the kids play." It was hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
It's about to be a damn tornado.
That's great.
The thing
See, I wasn't the only one that heard that. You heard it, too?
They had plans.
Yeah.
They had a game plan.
Let the kids play. Oh, sir. It's about to be a downpour. We don't
Not
want
good.
anyone to get hurt.
Biggest question for you guys. I'll open it up.
Just can you keep going, man?
Yeah.
Like I think
At this point, that's all you can.
I think the question is going to come. Well, I know Pius hit a home run last night. Do you let Herrera play catcher and let Alec Burleson play every single day?
Can I answer that?
Yes.
He's not a catcher. So I think
Anthony,
you should.
so here's the thing.
I think you
and
should
this
have
is where,
him DH,
This is
which
where
is
you
what
and
he
I
is.
disagree because, we talk a lot about the back of the baseball card, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they usually have the player's name, their number, the jersey number, and then the position. His has a C next to it, which generally speaking, Jamie, I don't know if you know this. Generally speaking, C stands for catcher. So because it's on the back of the baseball card, with his name, all of his numbers, the good things he's done in his life, that's the position he's supposed to play. And once it's printed, Anthony, there is no way to turn back from that.
What do they have on Contreras' card?
It's got a 1B because he's a
For
first
this
baseman
season.
now. Yeah.
You can change that C. Now, typically, you don't want to do this.
The cards are printed, Anthony.
Typically, you don't want to do
cards
this
are printed.
in school, but you can change that C into a D and add an H.
Have you done that? Why would you do that?
That's what I'm saying. You wouldn't
that's
do.
a little
You
ass
wouldn't
backwards.
do. Yeah.
You would take the D
what
to a C.
I would do.
You know.
Yep. I like
What I would do in that-
the right direction. Scary.
It would have to be undercase, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would do in that
Carrie's on
regard
us up here, Anthony.
is I would just leave the C because that's pretty good for me. You know,
right.
like in class.
You did well.
I did well.
Karen didn't do your work though.
Dude, that's
No C's for this guy.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. It is 2:14. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Lineup is out for tonight's game, so we'll play the lineup game next in the Fast Lane. Perfetti will take the mound tonight for the Cardinals, who look to stay hot against the Detroit Tigers. 7:45 first pitch. He'll oppose Tark Skubal, the ace of the Tigers.
Scooby-Doo himself.
Who is a left-hander, an LHP, as Jamie would call him.
Yep.
6:45 Central
6:45,
Time.
excuse me, 6:45 Central Time.
Come
My
on,
bad.
man.
I know. Sometimes I go to websites that don't have the old local time.
Well,
My
those
bad.
websites you're looking at don't have any times on them.
Well, no, this one does.
Okay.
It just didn't list the old ET at the end.
That movie made me cry.
No, not that one. Oh.
Did he really? Why?
I just
Which part?
when he finally gets back in his spaceship
When
and
he leaves?
When he leaves, I got a little teary-eyed.
Okay.
As a child, of course. I haven't
remember-
seen it since, but
I remember seeing that movie at the drive-in theater.
Really?
Yeah, it was a feature film. The Rivers family went to see E.T. It was pretty damn cool. Not gonna
Nice.
lie.
Well, good.
Yep.
Drive-in was a great time. Time to be alive, man.
Sure was.
Drive-in theaters.
You still got them.
Nah, not really.
I ain't seen many.
A couple
around,
a
yeah.
couple around the country, and people celebrate it like it's this like real retro thing to do. You know?
Yeah.
Nothing better than hiding in the back seat under a cover so you didn't have to pay for an extra person. So I've been told.
You get the back seat. My brother and I used to get the trunk.
Yeah. Nobody knows
Here,
you're
kids. Fit in here.
Fine, get in the trunk.
Yeah.
We'll let you out when we're parked.
Maybe. All right, Lars Taylor, Tetsuya Newpower, anybody? Sure.
No, let's go, baby.
Show us Newt.
International superstar.
Watch out, don't run into any walls or anything.
If I may,
Carey?
show us Mason Wynn.
Duncan, bring me that arm.
Fellas?
Yeah.
Please.
Show us Donnie Baseball.
Look at that guy. Vibrant, handsome, hair.
Oh, no, it's
Show
not.
us. Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Wash.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything
that
you're
hard,
doing
Wash.
is.
Yeah, it's old Willie. He knows how to do it.
Yes, he does.
If I may.
He sure does, Carey. Well said.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I may.
Yeah.
Show us Yvonne Herrera.
Oh, Yvonne? That's a French-ass name, Yvonne. Yeah, my little croissant. Little cheese on my croissant.
All right, so this was Nolan Arenado. Yes, I don't expect any changes here. Do you?
Agreed.
Nolan Arenado. Show
A lot
us.
of people think you get in your mid-30s
What
and your
Jeopardy-
career's
Jeopardy
over,
there.
but
That's
like
it.
I always say, until they
That's my
stop
brain.
scouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
Okay.
So this got to be Jordan Walker.
I
doesn't
believe
have
so.
to be. If we do the Marshy thing, he should be benched.
No, Marsh is saying,
I
though,
know
that
Marsh
he's going to
says that,
play.
but that's not the Marshy thing.
Marshy
It's the
is-
Marsh rules, and Marsh says it's Jordan Walker time.
All right, go
Marsh,
ahead.
nobody understands Marsh's rules.
I do.
Except for Marsh.
Marshy, you say it. Because he can't
he
change it. No,
knows.
but he doesn't matter. We're telling him to say Jordan Walker. So no matter what, he's not like he's cheating.
Yeah. We're going with Jordan Walker. You say it.
You say it, though.
Show us.
show me
Oh.
Jordan Walker.
Die for every ball.
There he is.
It's boring otherwise, plus it looks harder. The most important play in right field is what I like to call the janitor throw. Guaranteed out every time. I call it the janitor throw because it cleans up
There you go.
that are trying to take an extra base on you.
Okay.
It's Pahez. It's got to be, right?
Yeah.
Show us. Pahez.
Smithers, throw this at him.
You're out.
Maybe.
If I may, show us Victor Scott.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
I mean, I know
Yeah,
it's a
excellent.
perfect game.
Nice job, guys.
But when they're playing this well, like, the odds are in our favor that the lineup stays pretty
Sure, but
It's amazing how that works, isn't it?
it's also a good feeling. It's nice to know that they've got their lineup.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
All right.
Go ahead, Marsh, run it.
All right, leading off in left field, Lars. Newport. Batting second, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting third, second baseman, Brendan Donovan. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Wilson Contreras. Batting fifth, the DH, Yvonne Herrera.
A croissant.
Batting sixth, third baseman. Batting seventh in right field, Jordan Walker. Batting eighth and catching, Pedro Pajes. And batting ninth in center field, Victor Scott the second.
back. They fair! They fair!
Go fair, go fair!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, Marsh, latest standings, please.
All right, nothing changed after last night. Only Petey Pages was able to hit a home run. So Carey's still in the lead with 6 points. Jamie right behind him with 5. Anthony, you're behind Jamie with 4, and I'm behind you with 3.
3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. You know what? I'm going to go with the guy that Marshy wants to bench pretty much every other time he has a good game. Give me Jordan Walker.
Okay. Jamie.
Give me Contreras.
Give me Herrera.
Give me off the bench.
Oh, no.
Alec Burleson.
Wow.
It's your guy.
This is my guy. He had a pretty good game yesterday.
He did. All right, so for the home run derby, our leader, Carey Davis, chose Jordan Walker. Jamie selected Wilson Contreras. I took Ivan Herrera, and Andrew Marsh took Alec Burleson off the bench, which would be a 10 spot. 10 points.
Yep.
Somebody comes off the bench and hits a pinch hit home run. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. The Dotem Golf Tournament with the morning after returns next Thursday and Friday at Oak Valley Golf Course and Resort. Friday's foursome, unfortunately, already sold out. But remaining spots for next Thursday are, while filling up fast, there's still some available. Get your foursome together for a full day on the course with TMA, including complimentary breakfast from Donut Drive-In, lunch from Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, all your Michelob Ultra, the 100 West Dental closest to the pin competition, a long drive competition courtesy of Pondoff's Anonymous Recovery Podcast, and after party with food from Texas Roadhouse on Thursday and Super Smokers Barbecue on Friday. A portion of the proceeds will support the St. Louis Hero Network in honor of Brian McKenna. The Dotem is refreshed by Michelob Ultra. Find all the Dotem info now at 101ESPN.com. Are the Cardinals from the 80s back? Jamie posed that question, and we're going to tell him why he's drunk. Next on 101 ESPN. When it comes to finding your next new ride, I almost guarantee it's available at Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. Why? Because they have over 800 new and used vehicles all in one location. Don't take my word for it. Drive out there yourself. You'll see for yourself. Just like I did when my wife Chris and I went out there. We needed a new ride for her, and we picked out a pre-owned Pathfinder that we love. We love the third row. We love the space. We love the way it drives. It's perfect for our family, but maybe it's not the Pathfinder you're looking at. Maybe you want a Nissan Altima or maybe a Nissan Sentra. Maybe you're not looking for yourself. Maybe you're looking for somebody within the household, maybe a first-time driver. Well, during their Bloom and Vroom sales event, you can score big with no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans, no payments for 3 months on used vehicles, a complimentary new car lifetime warranty, a 30-day new car return promise. That's within 30 days. You can bring the vehicle back if you're not completely satisfied. Full refund of your money. Set you up with something else. And 3 oil changes included on every new Nissan. Financing for everyone that walks through the door. Head to AutoCentersNissan.com, or when you do check them out in Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan, where the inventory is big, the savings are bigger, and the nonsense is nowhere to be found.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals win over the Detroit Tigers last night by a final score of 11-4. Sonny Gray, 6 innings pitched, 3 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 10, gave up 0 runs. The Cardinals will take on the Tigers once again tonight. Eric Fetty on the mound. Tarek Skubal opposing Eric Fetty. First pitch is at 6:45. Are the Cardinals from the 80s back? We're watching exciting baseball right now. We'll have that discussion next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
This is a team that spent the entire offseason. The only offseason news they made was we're trying to trade Nolan Arenado and then failed to do so. So they didn't bring anyone in. I brought in one player, Phil Maton, and that's been it. Right. I think the thing that's exciting about this team, though, is really that young players and really the defense. You know, I think that Brendan Donovan's been noticed a lot, but really the star of this team in a lot of ways is Victor Scott II. I've heard Cardinals fans for years tell me, we want the 80s Cardinals back. Victor Scott II. There he is. Right. Yes. He's still he plays incredible center field. He's very charismatic. There's a lot of fun things going on.
That was Will Leach, known Cardinals fan on MLB Now, on the Cardinals' approach to the past offseason, as well as the effect it's having on this season. And we teased it, Jamie, you had listened to this audio, and you had posed the question, are the Cardinals from the 80s back?
Yes. Whitey Ball back, baby.
Nah, I don't know about that.
Pretty close. So listen, all jokes aside, when you're watching the Cardinals play baseball right now, they put up 11 last night. 1 home run. Was it a week ago? They put up 10? 0 home runs.
Right.
Like they're manufacturing runs, singles, doubles, bunting, stealing, good defense. Everything I just said to you is exactly what went on the scorecard for Whitey Herzog. You get the odd home run, but after that it's singles, doubles, situational hitting, stealing bases, bunting, great defense. All of those things were part of the 80s Cardinals makeup of what made them so good, for one thing, but also so popular here in St. Louis with baseball fans. They love all of the fundamental baseball.
Yes. Good defense is important.
Janet gets it. She remembers.
She knows.
So when I'm watching the Cardinals now, it's hard. One, it's hard not to be excited about the team for a couple of reasons. One, they're winning. That's exciting right there. Two, I said it even when I would dog on the Cardinals. I don't like Cardinal baseball to not be relevant in the sport of like baseball, Major League Baseball. I prefer the Cardinals to be a good team. And now watching the way they're doing it, whether it's Ollie, it's got to be Ollie and his coaching staff because they're the ones that are calling for the bunt. They're the ones that are calling for the steal, or they've talked about it with the players. The players have the option of doing, whatever. The brand of baseball is exciting. They're getting good pitching, another thing. That's a Cardinals staple. I have no choice but to look at currently. I'm not saying the rest of the year, the whole year is going to be, oh my God, it's going to be wonderful. I'm saying right now, in the last month of baseball for the Cardinals, it reminds me a lot of what we saw in the 80s.
What about you, Carey?
For me, I don't know if it's the 80s. I feel like that they had a lot of stolen bases. Like they were. I mean, the entire team. They were.
I'm not saying it's identical, Carey.
Yeah, but when I think of the 80s, I think of Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, and guys just running. When they get on the bases, it's going to be first, second, and third, and they're going to be home before you know it. I think they have some parts of that. I think Victor Scott is that. I think Mason Wynn has the capability. He doesn't steal as much. Jordan Walker has a couple of stolen bases. But I think that this team is exciting because it's so much different from what you've seen in the past couple of years. Like, and it's different from the team that went to the playoffs when Albert and Yachty were here. Like, it's just a different version. It's a lot of young players, a lot of guys that you assume are going to be here for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And you can grow with this team. And I think that's the most exciting part of it. It's like they're not really any superstars. Nolan Arenado was a superstar, and he's probably on the back end of his career. Not probably, he is on the back end of his career. So there aren't any superstars yet, but there are some guys that you feel like will be Cardinal superstars, will be MLB superstars, and they have a chance to keep this thing going for years to come. And I think that's the exciting part about it.
Yeah, I agree with Carey. I don't know if they're. I think this is the closest version of Whitey ball that you can get. That team obviously had. I mean, number one, it was speed-based running, and they capitalized too on that. I mean, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the fact that Whitey's teams capitalized on playing on artificial turf, which obviously the Cardinals don't have anymore. But Jamie, to your point, they have more ways to beat you than just what they were trying to be in previous years. Like the Cardinals used to be the trendsetter. And for the longest time in like that 2010 range, say for the World Series years, they were following trends. Mm-hmm. We need offense, we need home runs, we need big boppers. I don't know why they didn't follow the trend of then also getting high strikeout pitchers. Like if you were going to follow that trend, you might as well get guys that had swing and miss stuff. Nevertheless, they were trying to get the guys that were going to be the big boppers. They have more ways to beat you now. And that was also a tenet of Whitey Herzog's teams. Situational hitting, hit and run, base stealing, sacrifice, move runners over, contact hitters. That's all what we're seeing right now with the Cardinals.
Yeah, and
excellent defense.
The one thing Carey Davis himself hates is home run or strikeout. Mm-hmm. You hate that.
I do. I think it's dumb.
Okay, so then you should be thrilled right now with what you're watching with the Cardinals.
He seems like
I am.
He's not. He's not impressed at all.
I am.
He sky dumped on my 80s reference.
Here's why. Because the Cardinals, they led the league in stolen bases.
You know what sky dump is, Anthony?
No, I don't.
A sky dump? You stand on the toilet seat and drop your dump all the way down into the water.
I thought that was like when you're in the sky.
You know what an upper deck is?
No, upper deck? No.
Yeah, that's where you take the top off the toilet and you poop in there. And then every time they flush the toilet, the poop goes in the toilet.
That's awful.
I don't think he did that.
Nah, I didn't think
he did both of those
things. The reason why,
No.
in 85, they had 314 stolen bases. The Cardinals got 40 something.
Why are you
right
fixated on that?
Because I was in the 80s. I was watching Cardinal baseball. I was a young lad, and I was like, man, they are fast.
Okay, so Carey hates us. Carey, you can turn his mic off for the rest of the set.
I'm just saying. They led the league in stolen bases for like 4 or 5 years in the 80s.
So we're isolating stolen bases.
Yeah, because that's what the hell they did. That's what when you asked me what I think about the 80s Cardinals. I think about mother fast lanes running and stealing damn bases. They got one guy here now that does it. They don't got 3 or 4 of them.
Donovan, Wynn.
They ain't Vince Coleman.
They ain't stealing third base, though.
Say that. They're not Vince Coleman. This is where he's stuck on.
Yeah.
He's stuck on the fact that
stuck in the 80s.
I think Carey's Whitey ball teams were, it's mostly base running.
Yeah.
Is what he thinks of.
Fast guys.
All right, fine.
No,
they're not the 80s.
They damn sure ain't the 80s.
Gary.
They ain't the 80s.
No, you win. You're right. At this point, I hate myself for saying it.
I love you. I don't want you to hate yourself.
No, it's too late.
I don't hate the thought, Jamie.
This is what you went through yesterday.
Exactly.
You started to self-deprecate.
Yeah. And then when I tried to...
Then we all came back and apologized.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I said I love you.
I'm not apologizing.
And you told me to go fast lane yourself.
You may have, Marsh, but Carrier's like, oh, no, don't do that.
All right, Lisa, we're going out of here today.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Lisa goes, it was amazing. They had Whitey Herzog in all caps, who was the center. So, Lisa, let me ask you an honest question right now. I know you're listening, okay? I'm not going to be mad at Lisa.
Yeah, don't.
I'm going to be frustrated because Lisa cannot stand Ollie Marmol as a manager. We know this. Lisa, don't backtrack now. We know how you feel about Ollie, okay?
Yeah.
So watching the Cardinals play now, it's not Carey's version of the 80s Cardinals, okay? We understand that. It's a slight version of the 80s team. You have to be happy watching this now, and if so, who's responsible? Do you think the players are aimlessly going out there and doing this?
Oh, it's Brant Brown. He's the reason why the offense is so good.
Like, Ollie has to be given a little bit of credit here for the brand
should
of
be given
baseball.
a lot of credit.
Thank you, Carey.
Yeah.
It's the nicest thing you said to me today.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't think you guys get it at all.
What?
I don't think you guys get it. I don't think you guys understand.
There's a lot of things I don't get, so it's
please
fine.
do enlighten.
So allow me to explain.
Do tell.
Okay?
Here we go.
When the Cardinals are not performing well, unquestionably, it's Ollie's fault.
And the front office.
And the front office.
And the ownership.
And the ownership. Okay? Mm-hmm. because you have to tell these players what to do. You have to basically get in the box with them and make sure they understand what's going on.
Are you supposed to hit for them?
Without actually hitting for them, yes.
Okay.
If you're not coaching them to win, you got to go. So when the Cardinals were losing, nope, Carey, I'm not taking questions right now.
Okay, sorry.
When the Cardinals were losing, it was Ollie's fault. All right? Now that they're winning, unquestionably, Ollie has nothing to do with it. It's all the players.
But when they lose to the Royals the other day, it's Ollie's fault.
That was Ollie. The one loss was Ollie's fault.
Because he brought in Roycroft.
Correct.
That's Ollie's fault.
Yes. The win the previous day
had nothing to do with it.
Was Jordan Walker.
Sure.
And don't even bring up Ollie on that.
I don't understand how that works.
I just explained it.
Yeah, but that makes sense to me. It's like Jamie telling me the 80s Cardinals are right now.
Make sense? Let it go, Ken. Jesus, I've never regretted comparing something in my life, ever. I've said some weird stuff. I don't regret as much as telling it, Carey, that this is the 80s Cardinals.
Carey.
They had guys steal 100 bases.
Cardinals lose. It's Ollie's fault.
Okay.
Cardinals win. It's the players.
Okay.
That used to be how Mike Keenan used to do it. He'd say, when we lost, it's because the players didn't do what we told them to do.
That's correct.
And when we won, he'd say, look, see what happens when they listen?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good leadership there.
The players loved it.
Yeah,
it was
I'm
great.
sure.
Very popular.
Yeah.
I don't think he was.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I think so. The Cardinals, I don't know if they're playing 80s baseball, Jamie. I hate to say it. But
What do you know? You weren't born until the 90s.
I heard about it.
He's got YouTube, Jamie. You back the hell
There's
off.
video.
I saw.
The field was like blue back then.
I saw a reel-to-reel on the 80s Cardinals. The projector was playing it, man.
I think they're playing all around good baseball. Like, they're playing baseball how it's meant to be played. You know, you brought up the 3 true outcomes, right? Like, I think that in itself has, I don't want to say ruined the game of baseball, but it definitely hasn't helped the game of baseball, especially when it comes to getting fans engaged into the product. But right now, I mean, they're second in doubles, second in hits, second in average, 7th in RBIs. They're 12th in walks.
Whitey ball, baby.
Where are they in stolen bases?
Who cares?
They're in middle of the pack. Middle of the pack.
But I think that's important.
That's really important.
That was their brand, speed.
Shut up.
That was the brand in the 80s. I may not have been alive, but I do know that was the brand.
And the brand right now is similar, okay? I know they can't steal bases to save their life, Carey. I understand this, okay?
Well, no, they're just mid.
Yeah, they're mid.
It's a modern,
Whatever.
It's a modern day
Let's go to the next
version.
segment. I'm already over this.
Because base stealing is, I mean, all around though. Like, other teams that steal bases, they're not even going to sniff that type of base run.
No.
So it's like the modern day version of what 80s baseball was for the Cardinals. That's as close as I can get.
All right,
for Jamie.
I want mic drops on this because the text line's been bopping around. People agree with me, agree with Carey. They hate all of us. They love all of us. All this stuff. Mic drops. Get on the 101 ESPN mobile app. Click the little microphone. Leave us a mic drop on if you feel like the brand of baseball you're watching now compares to anything in the 80s except the stolen bases from Carey's time. Or if you just like...
You see how he did that?
It's almost like saying, this football team is playing really, really well. They run the ball. They play good defense, good special teams. It's like watching Air Coryell's teams who just threw vertically.
Yeah. For me,
that was the thing. That was
that defense is like the 2000 Ravens defense, except for they don't stop the run as well.
Right.
Marcy, honestly, shut their mics off for a second. Leave us a mic drop on what you're watching right now for baseball. If it's exciting, do you like it? Compare it to whatever the hell you want. I don't care anymore.
Someone says, should I ask if I should put out a Marshy's poll?
Yeah,
no, listen. You can always put your poll out there, Marsh, but we're not going to get in your way.
Brand of baseball like the 80s Cardinals.
Should just be
yes,
but
or
let's do a mic drop. Let's do a
unless the Cardinals steal 4,000 bases,
and unless they steal 314.
Still time, Carey.
Hell no, it ain't.
There's still time. Lots of baseball left.
There was a question from There was a question from a listener yesterday on our text line about how the Oilers could change the way that teams are built. We vehemently disagree. We'll tell you why next on 101 ESPN. So we got a text message yesterday to our Air Comfort Service text line, which we always enjoy. Want you to be a part of the show. You can text us at any point. 314-399-9646. That's the Air Comfort Service text line. And the texter said, and this was from 314, talking about styles of teams, what it takes to win the Cup, Florida being built like they are, and the Blues being similar. If Edmonton wins the Cup, does it ruin the future of how teams are built? I guess only quote-unquote ruin if you're a fan of a more gritty all-around team. Interesting question. I would say absolutely 100% not. I don't think that the way the Oilers are quote-unquote built will alter the way that teams build their rosters in the NHL moving forward. The main reason being not every team has Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. In fact, only one does. So I don't think they're stylistically built that way. I just think they stumbled upon two of the better players that we have seen in this current generation.
Yeah, and let's not forget that the Oilers also had to be terrible for a really long time. Taylor Hall was a first overall pick. Nail Yakupov, St. Louis great.
Yeah,
he was a first overall pick. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, first overall pick. Then you got Connor McDavid. Then you got, you had to be really bad. And finally, this version of the Oilers has got them to where they're relevant. Last year's Stanley Cup final, Game 7, was a great run. This year, they look pretty powerful right now. And they're going to get Ekholm back, it looks like, for Game 1 tomorrow night, which will be a huge addition to their blue line. But building this team was not easy. And stylistically, like, they had two unbelievable players who 2 or 3 years ago, the team was not good, and the only thing that was worth watching was McDavid and Draisaitl. So now you fast forward to this point, and yeah, they've added some grit. They've added the Corey Perrys, the Evander Kanes, those types of players, and it's made a difference. So although I like the way their composition is to their team, it's not an ideal way to build a team.
Right.
Not unless you're willing to lose a lot. Like Colorado Avalanche at one point were willing to lose a lot. And they got Makar, McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen. They loaded up their team, but they were really, really bad for a number of years. So if you're a team like the Blues or the LA Kings or even the Florida Panthers, for that matter, when you go through a retool, it's not you're not tanking. The markets can't sustain just being awful for a long period of time.
And the more that the team and when more teams tank, the less bite of the apple you're going to get at the generational talent.
And there's no guarantee that...
Exactly.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah, there's no guarantee that there is going to be a generational talent in the year that you're picking first.
Look at the Chicago Blackhawks. Right. I've said this from when everybody wanted to lose, wanted the Blues to lose for Bedard. I was like, I wouldn't. I don't think he's a generational talent. I watched him play lots of junior hockey, and what he was more physically gifted than the kids he played against. He's a smaller dude. His body physically matured early, so he was stronger. Although he doesn't look very big, he's built like he's got a good, strong build to him, but he's still little. He gets bounced around all over the place right now in the NHL. He hasn't shown anything of a generational talent as of yet. Might he get there at some point? Maybe. But was it worth it for the Chicago Blackhawks to tank so poorly for Connor Bedard? It didn't help him. It's been 2 years now. Hasn't helped them. So you're taking your chances.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
And that's another good example. And, Carey, we see this in the NFL, too. Not all drafts are created equally.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may get Peyton Manning.
Other times you get Ryan Leaf.
And other years you get Well, and that was the same year. But some years you get Peyton Manning. Some years you get Andrew Luck.
Or Jamarcus Russell could be a good
Some
name.
years you get Jamarcus Russell. You don't know. Not every draft is created. Yeah. So just because you tank, this is one of the biggest flaws or fallacies when it comes to just tank. Not all drafts are like guaranteed to have an Andrew Luck in it.
Yeah. Can't miss prospect.
Right.
Those are few and far between. And even then, you still never know. Like LeBron James was one of the probably most touted high school players in ever, Bob. And
look at what he's done. Nothing.
He's had a fantastic career.
Oh, wait. No, yeah.
He's had a fantastic career.
But you're thinking of Bronny James.
My bad, yeah.
There's no guarantee that was going to, like, that's abnormal what he's been able to do. But more times than not, you run into a situation where you just don't know what you're going to get. So the Oilers, I'm looking at their draft history. They were drafting top 10 for, like, 11 out of 12 years.
Yes.
Had 4 number 1 picks in that span. Like, you had to stink. Like, you were really bad. And as an Oiler fan, you're probably like, oh, God, thank goodness this has finally turned the corner and we're starting to see this team win and play well. When I watch the Oilers, though, Jamie, tell me if I'm crazy. Because I'm other than that, clearly in life I am, but in this situation.
Okay.
When I watch the Oilers play, they look like they are so much faster than the other teams that they're playing for some reason. Not just McDavid and Draisaitl. Like, as a team, like team speed looks like it's greater than most teams that they play.
Their high-end guys are. And that's the McDavid, the Draisaitl, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Vander Kane. Like, those guys skate at an elite level.
Yeah.
Skinner skates at an elite level. After that, the drop-off is just like the Blues.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the Blues, look how fast the Blues were this year. With Kyrou, Thomas, Holloway, Neighbors, Bolduc. Like, they had some speed, but then you got guys who kind of regulate it, who are good skaters, but they're not elite.
Right.
You got the Buchnevich, Shen, those types of guys that aren't as fast, but it doesn't matter because the other guys are so fast around them. So that's kind of like the Oilers right now. But very, very good team.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, which of the 4 teams remaining? Yesterday we talked about the Panthers and how close the Blues are to being built like the Panthers.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 teams remaining, which team could the Blues emulate the quickest?
For me, the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars, they don't have a superstar anymore, like the Tyler Sagans and the Jamie Benns, which they once were top of the food chain. They're not. They're depth pieces now, and that's fine. But you look at their blue line, like Miro Heiskanen. Could that be a Philip Broberg one day? I think it could be. You look at Robertson. I think Dylan Holloway is every bit as good as Robertson is up front. Wyatt Johnson, Zach Bolduc. Like, when you go down the line of the way they've done it, and then you mix in the veteran pieces, Jamie Benn equals Braden Shen, and so on and so on and so on. I think that the Dallas Stars model right now is closest to what the Blues could be. Now, if the Blues in the offseason decide to go get a Sam Bennett via free agency, maybe then there's a pivot and they're starting to look towards the Florida Panthers model. They'd still have to acquire another solid star player because the Barkov-Kachuk combination, along with Reinhart, you've got some serious studs in that lineup. But again, what's Thomas a year from now? What's Kyrou a year from now? What's Holloway a year from now? Maybe you have those guys already, but they haven't reached that potential yet. So I think the Blues are closest to the Dallas Stars model, but with any luck of the young guys emerging, or maybe even a big signing in the offseason, could be like the Panthers. Either way, they play a physical brand of gritty hockey.
We did get some text saying Rantanen is a superstar, is he not?
Well, yeah, he would be. You're right. He is, but they just got him.
They just got him.
And the Dallas Stars have been, in the playoffs, a serious contender for a number of years now while doing this retool.
Western Conference Final last year.
Stanley Cup final in the bubble, I believe. Lost to Tampa Bay. So I think that, yes, Rantanen is now a superstar for sure, but they just got him.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. What can the Cardinals learn from Matthew Liberatore's success? They have handled it right with him coming into the year, making him a starter. So what can they learn to benefit future players? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis, and when it comes to your home, you want something that lasts. You don't want fancy gimmicks, just solid work that will stand the test of time. And at Window Nation, they have been St. Louis's trusted window pros for years, providing reliable, durable windows built to keep your home secure and comfortable. They know what matters most to you: home security, insulation, and comfort. Their windows are built to keep your home warm in the winter, cool in the summer, and secure year-round. And Window Nation's semi-annual sale is back. Right now, you can get 4 windows with every 4 you buy. You can get 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. Pay nothing until 2027. You can also get 2 free Cardinals tickets when you replace all the windows in your home. Window Nation has some of the best insulated windows you can buy. Their windows frequently outperform and outlast the ones from the expensive guys. Your new windows can be installed in 1 day or less, and they have a 96% customer satisfaction rate. Hurry, the sale ends soon. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now with the pros at Window Nation. Call them at 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com.
For your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Splashback Deuce, I think this one's for you, Jamie. I think the lesson the Cardinals learned from Liberatore is the same lesson they learned with Dave LaPointe in 1982.
I would agree with that. Again, another reference to the 80s.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Splashback.
Well done, Deucer. All right.
I prefer Splashback.
I think he prefers Deucer.
I don't know. Splashback, let us know.
All right. So Katie Wu wrote at The Athletic how Matthew Liberatore cracked the code and rewarded the Cardinals' faith. The gist of the article was that the Cardinals brass, during spring training, discussed how to handle Liberatore in terms of being either a starter or a reliever. So they met at Roger Dean Stadium and decided that Liberatore was going to be a full-time starter rather than continue using him as a reliever. They committed to the opportunity for him. They all agreed, the team agreed, that Liberatore would remain a starter regardless of early results. They prioritized development for him and evaluating his upside over any sort of short-term performance. We know that he struggled early on as a starter. There were times where, the kind of him being yo-yoed back and forth either between Memphis and the big leagues or in and out of the starting rotation led to some poor statistical numbers. In fact, he had an ERA over 6, and a high whip early on in his MLB career. He had a breakout last season as a bullpen piece, as a reliever, and then they shifted his mentality to say, hey, you're going to be a starter. And he has completely rewarded them. As of May, he holds a 2.92 ERA, has gone 6+ innings in 7 of his last 9 starts, ranks among the league's best in walk rate as well. So I was going to ask you guys, what do you think the lesson here is for the Cardinals when it comes to Matthew Liberatore? What future lesson is there for, whoever it might be, whether it's McGreevy or Tink Hence or one of these positional players? What do you think they can learn here? Because they got it right eventually with Liberatore.
But here's the problem I have with the way this went about. And here's the issue I have with using this model as a blueprint. Because Matthew Liberatore was traded for as a starter. Mm-hmm. And they tried to speed that along. And they wanted to put him in the rotation. He got knocked around all over the ballpark.
Right.
Hard hit rate, everything. They were barreling the ball. Like, he wasn't fooling anybody. At one point, he couldn't even pitch against right-handed batters which was last year, by the way. He would come in situations where lefty bats were coming up because they were afraid to put him against a righty bat. Mm-hmm. And again, so they tried to put him in the rotation. Then they moved him to the bullpen. Then they kind of sort of tried to little Matthew Liberatore, like he'll be the opener / whatever, and then back to the bullpen. And then one off season, which was this last off season, I don't know who did what, whether it's Liberatore took control of his career or the Cardinals helped him take control of his career, and he came back at spring training and was what we've seen so far this year.
Yeah.
So that model sounds like they lucked into it. Okay? The model that I think they should have stuck with is continue down the path of him being a starter, but leave him in the minors a little longer. If that's the case, because if pitching is compared to goaltending in the NHL, which it is all the time, most goalies are older when they get their chance at the NHL level. Jordan Binnington is an example, but he's not the only one. Look around the league at how many guys are older. Joseph Woll was older when he finally stuck with the Maple Leafs. Like, these guys it's harder to be the goalie. Mm-hmm. It's harder to be a starting pitcher, or a pitcher in general for that matter, but specifically a starting pitcher where you're expected nowadays to go 5 to 6 innings. To be a bullpen guy or a reliever coming into the big leagues, you got to be good for, I got to get a clean inning. That's it, So I don't know if the model for Matthew Liberatore is something that they can use moving forward, except for, hey, we learned by not fast-tracking maybe too much, and by maybe getting more involved in the players' off-season. Because John Mozeliak was on TMA when they were down in spring training, and he mentioned, and I'm just paraphrasing, of course, that Matthew Liberatore took control of his off-season, came back in way better shape than he'd ever been before. And why is it just now? Why were the Cardinals not all over that right away? Like, even when I came into the NHL, my first year, there was nothing. But then my second year on, every summer we had a program.
Yeah.
And the trainer, the strength and conditioning guy checked in on you, how you doing, this, that, questions about the program, would question you about your training. And then when you got to training camp, you got tested. And they could look at you, the eye test too. They could tell. Mm-hmm. You either did it or you didn't. So I blame the Cardinals for that one too. So I don't know if Matthew Liberatore is the poster child moving forward of how we handle things. That's just my opinion.
The part that stuck out to me in this article, it says, there's a quote saying, if you're going to transition, then you have to give yourself a chance to see what your highest upside guys are capable of. Marmal explained, we felt like Liberatore fit that bucket, and it would be a complete disservice to the 2025 season by us not finding out. So I think you have your answer there. They feel like he is a high upside guy, and they felt like this is an opportunity to actually figure out what he is, which is what we thought the entire season would be. Same thing for Jordan Walker, same thing for Nolan Gorman, Victor Scott. We kind of feel like we know what Mason Wynn is, but him as well, because he's only got one season under his belt. Like, 2025 is a transition year, and you're supposed to be figuring out who these guys are so I can make a decision on what way or what direction I need to go for 26, for 27, for 28. If I don't know that these guys can play or not, then I can't make a sound decision on what the future will look like. and they finally decided to give Matthew Liberatore an opportunity. They didn't sign Kyle Gibson back. They didn't bring Lance Lynn back to block him from getting an opportunity. And I think if you're trying to figure, like, you draft guys with the hopes, or you trade for guys in this situation with the hopes that they can be, mainstays in your lineup, in your roster, on your team. And so giving him this opportunity, he's rewarding them with good play. But even Blake even said that even if he had struggled, we wanted him to know that this was not a one and done. You think in April, we're done with you. No, we're going to ride this thing out and see who you are and give you a real opportunity. And what that does for a player, when you're not constantly looking over your shoulder, especially as a younger player, not so much in age, but in games played and time played, things like that. It gives you an opportunity to just relax and play. You're not worried about, damn, I threw one right down the middle and they hit it 4,000 feet. I'm not playing next week or next game. I'm going to be out of this. No, you just know I'm going to show up every single day, and when my time comes, I'm going to get an opportunity, and you're not worried about everything else.
So I wonder, do the Cardinals just luck into this then? Because every other year, like Carey just said, they bring in a veteran pitcher and they cover their behinds by a couple of veteran arms in the rotation, and and then this year they take the stance of, well, we're just going to ride it out. That's it. Because it's almost like the Cardinals didn't care. They're going with this transformation, this youth movement. They're like, not like we're going to tank, but here we go.
Yeah.
So we're not spending money. So by default, then they go with the youth movement because they're not spending any money or going and getting any free agents. So the Matthew Liberatore experiment could have been disastrous. So I just wonder, did they just get lucky? Did they get lucky? And now all of a sudden he's confident, he puts in the work and all this stuff. But the comment is what bothers me a little bit because, like, no matter how bad it was going to be, we're going to stick with him anyways. So then you really didn't have an idea it was going to be good.
Well, I don't think they had an idea it was going to be. I think they wanted to see. Point. I think 2025, no one expected this team to be where they are right now.
So my question is, did they luck into this?
Okay,
I don't know if that's luck. I think that's just how.
There's no way they could project that Victor Scott was going to hit the way he is. Liberatore's going to pitch the way he is.
Didn't.
They couldn't predict that Contreras was going to be as good at first base.
That was the purpose, though, in my opinion, to see.
But it's so lucky then.
Were they unlucky then when Liberatore was not panning out?
No, he wasn't good enough.
Okay, so then no, I don't think that they lucked into it. Because if you can't say that they were unlucky when he wasn't panning out, then I don't think you could say that they lucked into this. I understand what you're saying. You're saying because they didn't sign anybody.
If the mission statement was we're just going to ride it out no matter how good or how bad it gets with all of these players, I feel like there's a little bit of luck involved.
I think they lowered their expectations.
Yeah, but lowering the expectations doesn't create the stats that we're seeing.
No, I mean, they lowered the expectations for the team. So then therefore.
But that's my point. But they lowered their expectations. So it's kind of lucky that these guys are all exceeding expectations.
But don't they deserve some credit for drafting those guys or acquiring those guys?
I'm not discrediting that because I actually was going to do a little thing earlier today, but we had so much already on the docket that
Thanks, Marsh.
We can dive into it tomorrow, and I'm going to do the research on it, is I want to find out, even in the minor leagues, I want to go in all of their draft picks from the last 10 years. Like, where are they now? Because this lineup is predominantly drafted and developed by the Cardinals. So, yes, I think they deserve credit for that. But there's still some luck involved. It's just like a team where you're just like, yeah, we'll see what we got. Hey, we're going to ride it out with these guys. It's not like we believe in this young core. We think they're ready to take the next steps. We'll find out. So, to me, there's a little bit of luck. I'm really not trying to discredit the Cardinals.
Couldn't you say that, though, about literally any franchise ever that they lucked? Like, the Cardinals lucked into drafting Albert Pujols. Or, the Nationals lucked into getting Juan Soto.
Yeah, that's a singular thing, though. I'm talking about this is a blanket. Like, to have the young guys perform to where they have so far, many of them exceeding expectations, I feel like there's been a little bit of luck. And maybe it's something they didn't anticipate. And if that's the case, maybe then again, their evaluation of talent from within, maybe they're still working on that.
That's where I was. Go ahead.
I was just. Could you say there's luck that the Blues made the playoffs this year because of the offer sheet guys ended up exceeding maybe some of our expectations?
100%.
Okay,
I can own that.
Okay.
Those guys exceeded expectations. Zach Bolduc exceeded expectations. Tyler Tucker exceeded expectations. 12-game winning streak exceeded all expectations. So, yeah, there was luck.
I want to go back real quickly to that that evaluation part, because that is where I think everything kind of falls into. I think all teams have a responsibility to provide clear roles and consistent opportunities for the prospects. And they have to determine when that is, right? So the Cardinals happen to choose this spring training or this past offseason as the clear opportunity, clear role for Liberatore. You are going to be a starter, and you are going to be given the highway to do it. And he performed. I think it is part of the team's responsibility to provide those opportunities. I do. And if you don't, if you're constantly blocking your prospects, and then you want them to succeed in other roles, that's your problem. That's your fault. I think this is part of the evaluation. And when you provide those clear, consistent opportunities and the player does not respond, player does not perform, then it's also up to you to move on. And I think the Cardinals have had a really difficult time with this. But, Jamie, maybe to your point, there is a little bit of luck because it's all come together right now. Not only for Liberatore, but for other players.
I'm not talking about Donovan and Newtbar and those guys. Those guys that all had success before in this league. I'm talking about the question mark guys have all, if we're just being honest, they've all exceeded expectations. Mm-hmm. If that's just good development, great. Congratulations to the staff. If it's luck, still great. Doesn't matter because you're performing at a high level right now.
Right. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is the NBA finally getting the parity that the league needs? Does it even want that? That's next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, I can't tell you how much it sucks sometimes to get older and feel like you're getting older. Nobody wants that. I don't wake up in the morning, have sore muscles, tired, I'm depressed, overeating, all that. Who wants that?
I don't.
I don't either. I went into Mentality. Our guy BT told me, hey, get in there. Check it out, man. They're awesome over there. If you don't like it, no big deal. I walked in. The crew was amazing. Angel and her staff over there are absolutely fantastic. It's funny, too, because you walk in and there's other guys in there. Feel like you're all on the same team. It's like a little clubhouse feel. They get the waters, the Gatorade.
You're all there for the same purpose.
100%.
Yeah.
And the board-certified physicians are awesome. I never go in there and have never felt uncomfortable. They're totally cool. They're fun. And then they draw your blood, find out what's going on, because that's where all the answers are. And then they find out what is making you tick or what is not making you tick. They create a program just for you. And that's where the improvements start. And it's not just taking blood to find out why you're feeling a certain way. You can also draw the blood and they find out about other things that you can now take to your physician and follow up on, which is a great idea.
Yeah, and they draw your blood, every 10 weeks or so to make sure that you're doing well in the program, which I like, because then you can take. I actually went to my physician regular, 1 year checkup, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta do some testing." All right, great. Came back, all the levels were excellent. He's like, "Hey, whatever you're doing, keep it up." Part of that is going to Mentality, and I love the fact that I feel healthier. It's not just, I got more energy. It's, I feel healthier. My mood is stabilized. It's not up and down constantly. I mean, sometimes Jamie and Carey really tick me off. But here's the thing on that. Mentality.
Testosterone kicking in then.
You know what? I feel great. Jamie feels great. And you can too. So visit Mentality. Got 2 different locations, one in Chesterfield and one in South County. If you want more information, go down there. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you in there, or start online. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio. You can find out even more information. But be the dad that you want to be. Be the husband you want to be the you want to be with Mentality. This is Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is the NBA finally getting the parity that the league needs? Or does the league even want parity based on the Final Four matchup that we're getting right now in the NBA? Now, you do get the Knicks, the big market team, but they're facing the Pacers, and the Pacers could easily defeat the Knicks in their 7-game series, or best 4. And on the other side, you do have some star power. You got Ant Edwards for Minnesota, and they're taking on OKC, which is a really talented team.
Right.
But overall, do you think the league wants this type of parity when you don't have like big time superstars outside of Edwards?
I think that this is it's kind of like the new generation, right? You don't have, for years you had LeBron James in the finals. You knew whatever team he was going to be on, whatever team he was on, they were going to be in the finals. You had Steph Curry and his run. You had Kevin Durant. You've had, Kawhi Leonard on different organizations that made it to the finals. This team, SGA is more than likely, he's the MVP. He's been the best player all year long. Anthony Edwards is trying to become the face of the league, whether he wants to or not. He is a young superstar that has an immense amount of talent and got some dog in him that I don't think LeBron or some of the guys in his era had. They were very friendly. Anthony Edwards is like, no, I want to kill you, and I want you to know that I did it, and I'm going to take myself to where
I'll give you the knife.
There you go. After I take care of my business.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the Knicks and the Pacers, Jalen Brunson is a guy who was the second guy on the team when he was with Dallas, and now he's the guy in New York. And then you got Tyrese Halliburton for the Pacers. The thing that's interesting about all 4 of these teams is the number of championships. Like the Knicks last won a championship in the 70s. The Pacers have never won an NBA championship, nor have the Timberwolves. The OKC Thunder, that version of them have never. When they were the Supersonics, they won a championship, but that was also in the 70s. So none of these organizations have won championship in 40 years. So for me to have an organization, to have 4 teams in the playoffs with an opportunity, I just wonder how many people are going to be tuned in.
Yeah.
You don't have the name brand, but I think this version of young superstars is going to be exciting to watch because Anthony Edwards is a dog. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a dog, and they are really talented basketball players. That's going to be a really good series.
Yeah, for me, it's not just parity. It's the storylines. I think when you get to this point in the season, it's got to be about storylines. The Cubs versus the then Cleveland Indians. I mean, Chicago's a big market. Cleveland's not. But the storyline of those 2 teams potentially, and one of them was going to end the drought. Wound up being the Cubs, but Cleveland's drought is still ongoing, and that's, I think, one of the longest in sports. It wound up being a big storyline, which wound up being a big draw. People wanted to see if the lovable losers finally ended, finally ended the the curse of the Billy Goat. So that wound up being kind of compelling. For this, I don't think it's just about having a big market team. What is the storyline? And I think you outlined it. I don't know if people are going to be drawn to it, but the fact that these teams, like Indiana never winning a championship, Minnesota never winning, and as Marsh has pointed out, Minnesota is cursed overall. I mean, I don't think they're
Cleveland cursed. That's a different curse.
I don't know.
It's close.
Carey.
I think Minnesota's got the bigger curse.
Carey.
Minnesota has been to championship games.
But they haven't won.
They've had good teams. Like this is a really good T-Wolves team.
It is a really good team, and I don't think they're going to beat the OKC Thunder.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
So
they're never going to win.
And if they do make it to the finals,
they won't win.
They ain't winning.
So as a casual fan, I'll call myself loosely using that, casual fan of the NBA.
I'd call you an observer.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
A casual observer.
Yeah. I have to say that not having big names, and I know Anthony Edwards and all that, but I'm talking like the LeBrons, the Steph Currys. Name your guy, right?
Like KD, James Harden.
One of those guys. It's not very compelling to the casual. Like I do tune in. I will say this. I'm guilty of this. I do watch the NBA Finals. most of the time, because there's usually some big names in there that I am very familiar with, that I see on TV in multiple different locations, not just the games that they play in or the highlights. I see them everywhere. Their personalities, they've got their own brand, whatever it is. I tune in because I want to see, Clash of the Titans in the final.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel that way about this NBA.
So
finals.
That's the purpose of why I'm saying, like, you got young. I think this is the transition. We are transitioning out of LeBron James is going to retire here soon. Steph Curry probably got 3 to 4 more years left in his career. Kevin Durant hasn't been back to the finals since he was with the Warriors and hasn't had that success. Like, some of those guys that we are used to watching, like the best players, the top 75 players, are about to be done.
I know.
And this generation, SGA, Anthony Edwards, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton.
But they haven't got... They haven't got the clout yet.
This is why this, in my opinion, is important. One of these guys is going to win a championship. And then one of those guys is going to have an opportunity to build on that legacy.
Okay.
If it's Anthony Edwards, you're looking at a guy that when they do the top 100 players of the NBA, he's probably in it. I don't know if SGA is. He might be as well. But to me, this is an opportunity for these guys that are, I guess you could say, no name, because they aren't as high of a level as the LeBrons and Steph Currys. This is their opportunity to finally put their name in the hat and say, hey, now it's my turn. And now they'll be the faces that we talk about for the next 10 to 15 years.
And I said this in the office, and I don't know if you were in the room at the time, Carey, but I think in order for that to happen, the Knicks have to be in the finals. You have to have the big-time franchise then going up against the upcoming face of the league. And whoever gets that, if it's Anthony Edwards or if it's SGA, I mean, you could, maybe this is a little far-fetched, but you could say that whoever comes out of the West, that player, depending on how they perform in the finals, is now the face of the league.
I agree.
Like, whoever wins this Western Conference final, maybe the face of the league hinges upon that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, maybe I'm being an NBA guy now, and I'm just like going above and beyond with these storylines. But that's just, for me, as a casual fan, that's what comes to mind. The Knicks have to be in the finals for there to be a draw, in my opinion.
All right, so we're getting some snake pit comments here. First off, eggplant emoji, false Anthony. The Pacers have won a championship. It was just an ABA championship.
I said NBA championship.
I didn't, though.
Oh,
when I said
NBA.
When I casually repeated what you said about the Pacers and then added on to my point, I did not slip in the NBA. Yeah. So eggplant emoji, thank you. Second of all, Splash Big Deuce, if you really like the sport, you don't need storylines to draw you into the finals in any sport. Hot take. Gershie's Kiss says that he agreed. Thomas said, Deuce, you're spot on with that take. I completely agree with you. I'm talking about the casual fan, though, when I make those comments about the big storyline. Mm-hmm. The casual outside fan.
That's the same for any sport.
Exactly. The NBA, the NBA, the diehards, I agree with you, Deuce. The NBA, if you're a diehard basketball fan, you're going to watch.
You're going to watch regardless.
I watch the Super Bowl every year. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. I don't care if it's compelling or not. I'm watching it. So to Deuce's point, he's right. But if we're going to go on if we're going to do the scope of this, right? I watched the World Cup final one year. I was told that this was the greatest thing in ever.
And that's at like 9 a.m. in the morning.
You have got to watch the World Cup final. Your face is going to melt from watching this. I melted all right into absolute boredom. There was no the
I
World
love
Cup
the World
final.
Cup.
That was a good match.
World Cup final. No, I'm talking about this is like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Absolutely horrendous. Horrendous waste of time. But if there was a storyline there or a superstar or something that was somewhat compelling, I may have watched more than 10 minutes. So that's kind of my point on that.
You missed the other 80.
You did.
Plus.
Yeah.
Plus.
80 plus.
Plus.
Anthony, I know we have our sports six-pack coming up, but we have a fantastic question before we get to it. It comes from Grant Francis Fan Club. Is SGA related to SZA?
I don't think they're related.
Not yet.
Nah. SZA, Anthony. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I got those
He's
at home.
from St. Louis.
We have a drawer that's got couple of them, and then we kind of position them around the house.
Those are no scissors.
That way we got the ones where the kids won't get caught.
Yeah, those are scissors.
You got the cooking scissors too.
Scissors. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You cut things with them.
Oh,
cut paper. Cut and paste.
I was. Yeah.
You're thinking.
I'm just saying. I know what you're talking about.
Is a singer. She'll be here in a couple weeks. Her and Kendrick Lamar.
Oh
yeah.
Got it.
Yep. All right. Glad we got that figured out.
Talented.
I don't think you got it figured out yet.
She was in the Super Bowl halftime show, Anthony.
That was
the one that you said you watch every year.
That was Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, and her.
Yeah, and her. She was in it too.
She came out of the car.
She was
not sure.
I don't think she was in the car.
Okay. I mean, there was a lot of people coming out of that car.
Yeah. There were.
Yeah.
I don't think she was one of them.
No,
I don't believe so.
She sang.
She sang.
She performed.
She did.
Got it.
And she's great.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
And she's from St. Louis.
Yeah, she is. Darn right she is. So we root for her.
Jamie just said that.
It's fine. Murph doesn't listen either.
Yeah, that's Murray.
I said a little bit louder.
Yeah.
I literally said she's from St. Louis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody repeat what you had to say?
We still have not found evidence of that. So
No evidence at all, by the way.
We don't have any evidence.
There was
It didn't
one
happen.
night, and you guys know I stay up late. There was one night I went through, and we had a text, I believe,
couldn't
that
find it.
day that mentioned, hey, I only listened from 2:30 to 3:30. I remember hearing this.
Yeah, it has not been
Dude,
found.
I went through like 4 weeks
Isn't that amazing?
of
amazing.
shows.
Hey, Carey?
Doesn't exist.
Didn't listen to the full hour. I kind of skimmed through. I was like, this segment didn't really make sense. But I might have to go back and comb through.
Let's really test
But I
this.
do remember it happening.
If I find that, if I find that, and I will,
Yeah, don't wave your finger at us, first of all.
Clear Camp is under the Synergy Hockey umbrella. Let's see how sure he is that I didn't say that.
All right.
Deal?
Yeah.
Yes. We need everyone watching all of the rest of our videos from the last 2 months.
All right, Sports Six Pack is next, part one. If you got a question, 314-399-9646.
Synergy Hockey shutting its doors, by the way.
That's how hell-bent Jamie is to keep the Clear Camp out. They're rebranding. He'll just completely close down the camp.
Maybe energy hockey skills.
There you go.
Sports Six Pack is next.
If you love sports betting, you're going to love Circa Sports Illinois. Derek Stevens always dreamed of having the world's largest sports book in Las Vegas. He did that. It's amazing. And now it's in the palm of your hand with the Circa Sports Illinois app. It's got that old school Vegas feel to it. They got great money line splits on all the games. One tonight in the NHL that I love. Anthony, just love it. Carolina at -122. Bet that all day long over at Circa Sports Illinois.
My pick.
They've got great lines on all their futures bets, and they have the best odds, too. You check it out. Maybe you're floating around there. You don't know what to pick. Check it out. The odds are better than any of the other ones that are available to you. That means bigger payouts for you. And they also have high betting limits to make it lots of fun for the experienced gambler out there. So please don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today and join on all the excitement. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals took down the Detroit Tigers last night by a final score of 11-4. Tonight, Eric Fetty will take the mound going up against Tarek Skubal. First pitch is at 6:45. Tonight on 101 ESPN, we'll have Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. Coming up next, we have our Sports Six-Pack, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. We'll do the Six-Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
Part 1 of the Sports Six-Pack is right now here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Marshy, question 1, please.
Question number 1.
All right, this first question comes from Average Size Shamangas. Hey, Marshy, this is he sent it earlier, but in my opinion, rivalry weekend in baseball being a success, how would you work the schedule around to see more exciting matchups, to have more butts in the seats and eyes on the product? I've always thought that interleague play should be brought back where it's all together in a month. Also, I want to see the last however many games be strictly division games, and like the last 40 to be that way. Can you imagine a playoff race with 10-ish games with the Cubs right before the playoffs to see who gets in? Or the race in the NL West with 10 games between the Dodgers and the Padres. Do you guys like the new baseball schedule where they play every single team?
I think it has killed the excitement of the All-Star game.
Because the All-Star game sucked
the
All-Star game was exciting.
In the 90s? In the 90s, it was exciting.
Sorry, what year is this?
Don't tell the Carey that. He'll bring up 27 examples of why it was.
I'm sorry.
More stolen bases in the 90s.
And All-Star games, too.
All-Star games sucked, Anthony.
Not when the winner got to host the World Series.
Oh, that was even worse.
In the 90s, the All-Star games were fun. You didn't have interleague play. Actually, interleague killed.
Video killed the radio star, Anthony.
I know it did. You know what? Go ahead. Answer it. Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Question 2, please.
Nobody does. You can't say answer it, then say question 2.
I changed my mind.
You don't get to make that decision. Look at he's trying to do this.
He's
this power trip right here.
It's his show.
Just because he sits with that mic.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like that mic carries more weight than your mic.
I didn't realize that only Jamie could squash opinions from others.
And the smartest man in the room.
Right. 2 heroes that used to play professional athletes, and then this guy. I'm calling him to my show.
By the way, Marshall gets no credit in that.
At least I'm not called an average Joe.
Yeah. Honestly, time out. You might be the average Joe. I'm not even mentioned. I don't know what's worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Question 2, please.
2 pros and 1 second baseman.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. 2
former pros who are incredible human beings that you're going to absolutely love listening to, and some schmuck. It's the Fast Lane from 2 to 6.
Jesus. I'm sorry. I didn't even do it. I'm sorry. On behalf of whoever put that together.
I think it was Ryder.
He's giving us the thumbs up.
Oh, man.
Okay, should we move on?
Yeah, no, I love that they play everybody. And All-Star games suck.
Question number 2.
Just leave it go. Just go in.
From the 636, back in the day, did Carey, who was a former professional athlete, back in the day, did Carey prefer to drop the shoulder and truck a linebacker or stiff arm their face into the grass?
I mean, either is wonderful.
Probably pretty satisfying.
Either or. I got some pictures doing both.
Oh, boy.
But when you lower your shoulder and the first thing to hit on the ground is the back of another man's head, there's really nothing more satisfying than that. Like when you put a person down, like it's the thing about football that I enjoy is like two men going against each other and you're trying to move one man against his will, and when you succeed at that feat, there's nothing greater. You get to set a man down, and now he has to think about all of his life decisions and decide whether or not he wants to get back up. Most men do. Some don't. Jamie?
Or some do, but they just pretend.
There you go. You take their will from them, and it is.
I'm fine.
It is spectacular.
Because the next time you go to hit them,
they move out the way.
They move.
There you go. And you know that their will to continue on is no longer there.
Correct.
They've quit.
Yeah.
Internally, it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
I used to always know by middle of the game, looking into my opponent's eyes, who the one like that I knew I'd already won the battle.
Yeah.
And then, in typical bully fashion,
you go right
I chase him around all night long, like Lionel Richie said,
buddy.
all night long. Yeah, all night.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Have you ever seen a hockey player stiff arm another player?
Oh,
like
yeah.
with the puck? And I know like you can use your body to protect the puck, but like straight up just hand to the face.
Eric Lindros, as big as he was, a right-handed shot, he'd come down the ice and he'd put his stick in his right hand and like grab you, like the swim maneuver, for and just go rip,
Move
and like
you out
just
the way.
throw you, and then just keep going. So you had to like be ready for that. So yeah, I've seen guys do that.
We'll get a text from the 618, two pros and Nick Sirianni's stepbrother.
Oh, wow. That was a courtesy laugh.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well,
Anthony gave a courtesy laugh too.
Yeah. All of you go fast on yourself.
Question number 3.
This is a great question for where we're at right now. From the 636, what's the one thing that can immediately take you out of the best mood and into the worst mood?
Immediately?
Sitting in the studio while the whole damn world is falling apart.
No. Carey did not like how that was handled last Friday when that tornado came in and everybody in the building started to rush to wherever, I'm sure safety, almost knocked Carey over in the hallway. And then Carey came in here with Bradford and I and said, what should we do? And none of us had any idea.
Carey, a pandemic couldn't get us out of this studio.
No. Yeah.
That's a little different. I think.
Well, one's quick, one's longer.
Yeah.
Something that makes me go like from happy to mad, like instantly. Is that really what the question is, Marshy?
Yeah.
Wow, I have a really long list.
Yeah, I agree. I do too.
Yeah.
People, disrespect is high on the list for me. Like a person that is disrespectful, it doesn't even have to be to me. Like disrespectful to somebody that really can't defend themselves. Like I was at an establishment one day, and the owner was talking to one of his employees. It was a younger person. He's an older person, and he is ripping this kid apart. I mean, to shreds. And I felt like if that was my child, we would have a problem. Because maybe you're not wrong in what you're saying, but you're doing it in front of paying customers. That's probably something that should be taken
100%
in the back.
behind closed doors.
Like, you don't do that. And I told him that. I said, hey, come here. Let me talk to you. To a grown man. Don't do that to that child. Not here. Not in front of these people. Well, I don't give a damn what he did. You take him in the back and do that.
Yeah.
Because if that was my child, I would probably grab you. I wouldn't have asked you to come here. I'd have physically grabbed you from across the counter and just walked you through the entire establishment by the back of your shirt. So,
yeah.
Disrespect for me is high on the list of things.
That would be disrespect is probably the umbrella.
Yeah.
And like underneath the umbrella would be someone like calling me a liar, someone like just telling me what to do in life, like not like under the disrespect. Yeah. Those for me, I go from 0 to 100 really fast. Bad drivers, 0 to 100 really fast.
Tell me about it. Jamie?
Yeah. Carey, you know? So there's a lot of things that make me go like 0 to 100 fast. And so the list is probably too long, but yeah. But for the most part, I can keep myself together. I mean, I'm not on the 5 o'clock news. Thank God. I mean, I'm in here.
Not anymore.
That used to be my mission for a long time.
Stay off the news.
Yep.
Yeah. Driving's got to be up there. Road rage, for sure.
Or people that walk extremely slow in front of you.
Oh, my gosh. People that
have no way to get around them.
People that have zero sense of urgency, just lollygagging.
Oh, another thing.
Get out of my face. Get out of my way.
That grinds my gears. If I hold the door for you and you don't say thank you, I literally want to smash
That's
the door
like the
into
courtesy
the back
wave
of
when
your
you're
head.
driving.
Yeah, I do. I think it's so just.
I say it. I go, you're welcome.
You're welcome. You're loud. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, that's what you say. You say thank you when somebody does something. They're driving me nuts.
I'm with you.
We're getting a few text messages saying giving up 2 goals in the last 2 minutes of a hockey game.
Yes, absolutely. That's
Depends on who you ask.
That's a right. Well, you're right, but for me, I guess it wasn't great for me.
No. All right, part 2 of the Sports Six Pack.
Well, you didn't say what makes you get angry.
I think he told us the last first question.
I think it's when I try to express myself and that my opinions slam back in my face. And
I've been working on Carey.
I try to express myself, and I'm quote unquote emotional.
Or stepping on your children's toys.
Oh yeah,
that'll take me off big time. Yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah, or when, I've told the kids 487 times to get in the damn vehicle because we're running late, and my 2 sons decide to jump on the ice. Coming up. All right, part 2 of the Sports Six Pack is next.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com.
All right, I have no idea what question we are. Go.
4.
We got to do this.
Question number 4.
All right. We get a question from the 314. I never hear you guys talk about golf. Do any of you swing the sticks? Any good or just good at the drinking part of golf?
Last time I golfed was, my daughter's 8. Last time I golfed was 8 years ago. Dead serious.
Yeah. So I used to be a big golfer. Used to have a membership at a couple of different places here in St. Louis. In the off season, I would golf 4 or 5 times a week. Got pretty good. Would shoot, high 70s, low 80s. So, nothing to brag about. Not going to join the tour, but you could play golf with pretty much anybody at that point. And then I had kids.
Yep.
And kids are wonderful. But when you have kids and then you have multiple kids, then the 4 hours to 5 hours to 6 hours, depending on what the 19th hole brings to you, which we know is a couple of beers at the end of the round, that becomes a new fly zone for your significant other, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, who you have kids with, whatever. They're going to sit there while you go and do. No, not doing it, especially once you have more than one kid. So now once or twice a year, I get out for like a scramble. A couple of guys will have me for a scramble. I can still hit the ball a ton off the tee. That's all I'm good for at this point.
I mean, if you can get off the tee, and you're in a scramble, you can figure things out.
Yeah. And that's my fun. As I get up there, I hit it. I'm like, okay, now you guys go do what you need to do with that. And I have some beers and have a good time.
I consider me an okay athlete. I'm terrible at golf.
I play probably 4 or 5 times a year. I would love to play more. And I told you all before, my goal is to only lose 2 balls playing golf. 2 golf balls.
Got it.
If I only lose 2 golf balls
that makes sense.
in a day, in an outing, I had a damn good day.
Good.
If I can find my damn ball every time, I'm good. So yeah,
okay.
You got plenty of balls, Jamie, but I don't want to lose more than 2 at a time.
No, you're right.
In an outing.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Question number 5.
Guys, I texted you earlier today. I was at Dobbs in Sunset Hill, and the gentleman helping me, John, said he listens to the show.
Hey, John.
What up, John?
Great guy.
John.
Loves the show. And he texted in wanting to know, with the recent results of the Cardinals, where do you guys honestly think we will end up?
First place, NL Central.
Okay. Are you mean that, or are you just doing your Anthony thing?
I mean it. First place, NL Central.
Because sometimes you just do that because,
Why, Jamie? Please tell me. Elaborate. Why do I do that?
Because you're a little snarky sometimes.
That doesn't sound like me.
It does.
Have you met you?
My goodness.
All right. No, I do believe that. I think they're going to win the NL Central.
Really?
Yeah.
In all honesty.
Yeah, three of the 5 teams aren't trying.
Okay.
So it's just them and the Cubs.
So
can they pass the Cubs? Yeah.
As of right now, they're a game back of the Cubs, and they're a game back in the wild card. And we're so early on the wild card. I get it. Puts them in pretty good shape to be a playoff team. Now they have to continue playing the way they are, and I don't know if that's sustainable. Maybe not. I think that they're a playoff team. That's what I'm going to say.
Can I hold out on my...
No.
Okay.
No. The question is...
Hand me the glasses. Hand them to me. I thought we were... Hand them to me. No. Hand them to me. This is what you all want?
Carey. No,
this
not
is
really
what you want?
No.
I do, Carey. Let's go.
The Cardinals are going to win the whole damn thing. You seen this team play? They got superstars upon superstars upon superstars. They got St. Louis stars. They got superstars, international superstars. And Lars Newbar, he is great. Leading off, you got guys that are... Brendan Donovan, you love Donnie baseball. You love watching him play.
Talk about his average.
He's average. He's one of the top players in average in all of ball, in all of baseball.
Tell us about his hits.
Ivan Herrera, he's back and better than ever. He's He's been outstanding. Willson Contreras, he can't play first base. You're damn wrong, Anthony. He damn sure can. And this team is leading the MLB in the errors. They don't make errors.
That was
they
about
don't
the manager.
make mistakes. The damn manager, Oliver Marmol, extension him now. Give him an extension. Do it today. Get it damn done. What are we waiting on? This team is playing lights out every damn day. If you ain't watching, you're missing out.
What about
and
the
I'm
front
sorry
office?
for you. The damn front office is going through a transition, but guess what? Bloom is here, and it's blooming, baby. It has been outstanding, right? We love it here. You gotta love it. The Dudes, they didn't spend no damn money, but guess what? They didn't have to, guys. You know why? Because they got stars. No need to spend damn money. You got them here. Matthew Liberatore, you know what we're going to do? We're going to let you start, and you're going to be the damn guy. We know it. We just made mistakes in the past, but we have righted these things. And here we are, soon to be National League Central champs.
Carey Davis.
There you go.
There you have it. Gauntlet next on 101 ESPN.
Four Warriors, 4 categories categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
.406, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Time for the gauntlet here in the fast lane. Well, Brent absolutely dismantled our guy Carey Davis yesterday, so he's back for round two.
Right.
Wow.
What's up, Brent?
Thanks.
Hey, how we doing, guys?
Doing good. Appreciate
Better
you.
than Carey.
I'm okay.
Appreciate you back for round two. So, Brent, would you like to take on Marsh, Jamie, or me in round two?
Anthony, I think I'm going to go you today.
Oh, man. Okay.
It's a big test for you, Anthony.
He was good yesterday. So, all right. Good luck to you, Brent.
Thank you. Appreciate you. You too.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony, get the hell out of here. While Anthony's on his way to the cone of silence, Brent, you know the deal. Tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marsh.
All right, you wanted baseball yesterday. What do you want today?
You know, I'd be fine with baseball, random. A little nervous about hockey and football, but we'll see.
Well,
The wheel is not nice 2 days in a row. Hockey is your category.
ah, boy.
All right. We'll give it a shot here.
All right, each question worth 2 points. If you answer correctly, if you need the options, answer correctly, you only get 1 point. Of course, if you get it wrong, you get 0 points. If you're tied, after 4 questions, we will have a closest to the pin tiebreaker, and we will get a winner today in the gauntlet. Brent, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go, bud. Question number 1. Golden Knights captain Mark Stone sat out last Wednesday's Game 5 loss to Edmonton because of an upper body injury. But who actually led Vegas with 14 power play goals during the regular season?
Let's go options, please.
Was it Jack Eichel, Ivan Barbashev, or Tomas Hertl?
Let's go Jack Eichel, please. Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the only St. Louis Blue who scored more than 5 game-winning goals in 2024-25.
Well, I'm going to take a shot here. Let's go Cairo. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Oilers are the first Canadian club to make consecutive conference final appearances since which team?
Well, there's only a handful here. I'm going to go... Let's go Montreal.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Brent. Final question about one of my favorite players ever. Legendary goaltender Ron Hextall spent the majority of his playing career with one Eastern Conference team. Name that team.
Take the options, please.
Was it New York Islanders, Philadelphia Flyers, or the Quebec Nordiques?
Let's go Flyers. Final answer.
All right. Okay, let's get our guy Anthony in here. How you feeling, Brent?
Well, you know, hockey is not my strongest suit, but, you know, I do enjoy watching the Blues, but we'll see how we did.
All right. Well, Anthony's back. He's plugging his ears in. Anthony, how's Cone of Silence, bud?
We're rocking out, Mike Ryder and I.
Nice.
Well, 311. It's headline Point Fest over the weekend.
Yeah, it's nice when Ryder's here. You have someone to talk to or play music.
Absolutely.
It's really lonely when he's not here, which is quite a bit. I don't understand why he's not here very often. But anyways.
Well, he's only working every job in the building.
This is true.
Day and night.
This is true. Wears a lot of hats.
Guy leaves, you're seeing all this stuff on 101 ESPN being posted, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's Mike Ryder.
Your contract up?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No, I just appreciate when I see a good, an unbelievable teammate working his ass off.
Amount of ass kissing, which I'm sure Mike Ryder appreciates.
It's massaging.
I just appreciate good
What'd you
teammates.
say?
Massaging.
You're Deshaun Watson.
He didn't massage.
No, that's right. Yeah.
All right, Anthony, categories hockey.
Part of the problem. Hockey?
Yeah.
Yes. I love hockey.
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
Question number 1. Golden Knights captain Mark Stone sat out last Wednesday's Game 5 loss to Edmonton because of an upper body injury. But it has nothing to do with this question.
Okay.
Who actually led Vegas with 14 power play goals during the regular season?
Options.
Was it Jack Eichel, Ivan Barbashev, or Tomas Hertl?
I think Eichel would be too obvious. I don't think Barbashev. He had a big season. I feel like the outlier would be Tomas Hertl. So give me Tomas Hertl.
Former Shark.
Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the only St. Louis Blue who scored more than 5 game-winning goals in 24-25.
Game winners. Well, it had to be a guy that scored a lot of goals. Jordan Kyrou, Robert Thomas, Dylan Holloway. Options.
Jordan Kyrou, Dylan Holloway, Pavel Buchnevich.
Yeah, it wasn't Booch. He barely scored. Drew Bannister had him playing center. Holloway, final answer.
Question number 3. The Oilers are the first Canadian club to make consecutive conference final appearances since which team?
Consecutive conference finals appearances?
As a Canadian team.
Oh, Canadian team. Thank you.
It says it in the question, but I can already see the answer
Thank you.
out of the wheel over
If
there.
you didn't say anything.
Oh, Jamie, I appreciate that. I would have asked you to reread the question. I really would have. Canadian teams. Well, no sense taking the options here. Senators. No, they stink. Flames. No. Nah. Canucks. Maple Leafs. Am I forgetting a Canadian team? You said Oilers in the question. I gotta go. So the Senators are terrible. Have been terrible until Brady Tkachuk got there.
Pretty good before that.
Nah. Canucks. No. I gotta go with the team that made a lot of appearances. That'd be the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs, final answer.
Don't like the Montreal Canadiens?
I don't like the way you did that. Damn it. The way you were you were like looking at me. You were looking at me sideways. Canadian
That's what he's
team.
like, I thought he was going to say...
I stand by my answer. Final answer, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay. Final question, Anthony.
Sean Clock. Shut up, bacon-wrapped wiener. Just shut your mouth.
Question 4. Legendary goaltender Ron Hextall spent the majority of his playing career with one Eastern Conference team. Identify that organization.
Ron Hextall?
Yeah.
Flyers. Final answer. Was that quick enough for you?
All right. Let's go over this. Question 1.
Damn Canadian.
Legendary goaltender Ron Hextall spent the majority of his playing career with one Eastern Conference team. Identify that organization. Brent, you said Philadelphia Flyers. Anthony, you also said the Philadelphia Flyers. Answer is?
The Philadelphia Flyers.
But Anthony did not need the options. 2-1, Anthony after 1. Let's go to question 1. I'm skipping the first part. Who led Vegas with 14 power play goals during the regular season? Well, the first has nothing to do with it. Sorry, Bradford. I'm assuming it's him. Brent said Jack Eichel with the options. Anthony took the options, took former San Jose Shark. Tough, hard to believe that one. Hey, Carey?
I know, right?
Tomas Hertl. Marshy, answer is?
It's Tomas Hertl.
Of course it is. Why would you, Anthony, not know that? Okay, 3-1, Anthony. Question number 3. Only one St. Louis Blue scored more than 5 game-winning goals in 2024-2025. Name him. Brent said Jordan Kyrou without the options.
Makes sense.
Anthony used the options and said Dylan Holloway. Carey, answer is.
It is Dylan Holloway.
Dylan Holloway.
Ooh.
Final question. The Oilers are the first Canadian club to make consecutive conference finals appearances since. Now, this question could go back many, 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 many years for consecutive conference finals.
Which was my thought process on this,
could
Jamie.
go back many years. Without the options, Brent said the Montreal Canadiens. Anthony, without the options, said the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Marshy, answer is?
It's the Toronto Maple Leafs.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Is it really?
Yeah, Brent, he got you today, man. Anthony, he came to play, dude.
Yeah, that's about how I thought it would go today.
Sorry, buddy.
You know
Good
what,
job,
Brent? Honestly, it wasn't even your fault. Jamie's been ticking me off since 2 o'clock.
Which day?
Exactly.
So I got Jamie to blame, huh?
You got Jamie to blame for
Why
that
not?
one.
Everybody blames me anyways, Brent. It's fine.
Here we go. Carey, you know what that is, right? It's the victim mentality. Brent, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Take care, man.
Yep, have a good one.
You too.
I knew I was forgetting a team. The way you were just staring down my soul.
We also forgot the Winnipeg Jets. In fairness.
They're forgettable, though.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Montreal, I've got no excuse. Winnipeg, they're forgettable.
Yeah,
they shouldn't
sure
even
are
have
on the road.
They shouldn't have a team, you know.
Anthony, you're 5-0 in hockey this year.
Yes. I love hockey, man.
Somebody says, Jamie, the first part of the Vegas Golden Knight question was important. It eliminated Mark Stone from being an option. Fine, but the actual question is, who had the most power play goals? It still could have been Mark Stone.
In the regular season.
Yeah.
So
he was hurt in the playoffs.
It could have still been Mark Stone.
There you go.
I eliminated Mark Stone when they asked for the options.
And Bradford doesn't need to text into the text line. He can just text you personally.
No, he doesn't have my number, apparently. I don't know.
This actually could have been Grant. I think he makes the hockey questions.
Does he?
Did he? That was a real Bradford ask.
Yeah.
Whoever it was did a fantastic job. I appreciated all the questions.
Yeah, they're right in your wheelhouse.
I loved every single one of them.
You got every one of them right.
You did.
Thank you, Carey.
I freaking nailed it, man.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Now, did I forget 2 hockey teams that exist in Canada, including the Canadiens? Sure.
The Yankees?
The Yankees of Notre Dame of hockey? Sure.
No, you're fine.
But it's fine. All right. Is Clark and Reese... Now, Jamie, I want you to ask this. I want you to tease this, because this is your question here. And I think it's pretty interesting.
And look, the WNBA in the last 2 seasons has really picked up steam here because of these 2 individuals. Are Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. I want to say Gabrielle Reese. I'm like, no, that's not a different athlete.
No. Yep.
Angel Reese, are they now the new Larry Bird and Magic Johnson? The rivalry is there. We'll talk about that next here on 101 ESPN.
Amy, what is the most challenging thing playing in the NHL as a youngster? Like, what part of the game is the most challenging?
So easy.
Okay. Because
so easy.
Because we forget sometimes. I was listening to Nick Saban talk about Derrick Henry when Derrick Henry was a freshman at Alabama. And one of his assistant coaches was chewing him up because of pass protection. I mean, he was mother bleeping him up and down. And Saban actually went over there to kind of give him a little pat on the butt. And Derrick Henry said, Coach, in high school, they just turned around and handed me the ball.
Yes.
That's the extent. Not all heroes wear capes, you know.
Hey.
Some heroes dig up audio that existed.
Or they just make it up.
Don't you dare.
AI. Have you seen those AI videos?
Don't you dare,
I'm just glad
Jamie.
they didn't make this AI video with cuss words and have us lose our jobs.
No. And we will get to the Angel
Marshy,
Reese.
Do you see how when Anthony's voice is going, the lips don't exactly match up?
We'll get to the
That's
Angel
disgusting.
Reese, Caitlin Clark conversation. But there's a man that's in our snake pit right now that did the homework on the Derrick Henry story. His name is Tom, and he is a hero. He's not just a hero to me. He's a hero to all of us because Tom fights for justice.
No, he makes
did
great
the work for you.
He makes
did the
great
work
AI
for
videos.
us, Carey.
You know the AI videos.
Yeah.
We talked about how scary that is nowadays.
It is.
Well, we just fell
Dangerous.
victim to it.
I didn't see it. My face was not in on that. I didn't think so.
So Tom, in our snake pit, he did the homework because Jamie.
Damn it, Tom.
Jamie kept saying, and Carey backed him, even though he wasn't here.
I wasn't here. I
That's
said
right.
I had not heard
See,
this
it's Carey's
story.
fault.
What the
hell?
You should know this
Carey,
stuff.
what did you and I talk about coming into these doors today? You said, I hate when people disrespect me and not believe in me.
Yeah, I did say that.
Well, you, sir, did not believe in me.
I wasn't here. I said I never heard.
Where the hell were you anyway?
I was in Hawaii. I
And you
never heard
backed
that
Jamie.
story.
And you backed him.
All I said was I've never heard that story. I never heard you tell that story.
I didn't either.
Nah, you were sitting right here, clearly.
AI.
Did you
You know
play
what?
it?
It's not. Yes, we played it.
I already called my lawyer.
Here's the thing, Jason Gordon, that's exactly what I remember. Thank you, Jason. See, this isn't just a victory for me. It's a victory for Fast Lane listeners that know they heard me tell Jamie that story. And Jamie caught red-handed on video. Audio is there.
If I
Jamie heard it.
If I may, you also said I heard it.
He did.
Which I clearly did not
You
hear.
didn't
it
remember crap
because
either.
I was not here. Now, I don't remember a lot.
Don't you do the lawyer thing.
You clearly said
No.
I heard it as well. You both heard it. I said, Anthony, I've never heard you say that. And clearly, you know, I'd like to separate myself from the defendant, James.
Oh, that's what we're doing here?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here?
Yeah, you seen my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, I
Have
see
myself
that.
a new lawyer.
And what happened then?
He started stuttering, but he was okay when he didn't have to speak out loud.
Clear it, camp. 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 Yeah! Here we go.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, all jokes aside, how the hell do you expect me to remember March 25th? Like, we're sitting here at May 20th. March 25th. I can't remember 2 days ago. It's all BS. That's crap.
Jason
That's
goes,
tough.
the amazing part is Anthony's probably the source of Jamie's version. You probably just repeated my story.
I had seen.
Somebody was. I can't remember who it was, but somebody was talking about it.
This is a screwed up thing with social media. I was in the office here ahead of everyone. Imagine that. And I was going through.
It's all going to come out now.
That's right. That's right. You backed me into a corner. This dog's biting. Okay. I was in my office, our office, but mostly mine. And
except for when you're not here.
It was true. Surprised you guys make it those days.
Oh, man.
But I was watching something on Twitter, and it was that. And they played that video of Nick Saban telling the story. So I was like, oh, wow. I didn't know they played that video where they talked about it like 2 months prior. Nor could I remember you telling me about
Apparently not.
I was so excited, too.
Waterboy Anthony wins the gauntlet, and then for our next segment, he wins an argument. This 4 o'clock hour is shaping up to be the greatest hour ever for Anthony on radio. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Hey, again, Tom, thank you. You weren't just a hero for me. You're a hero for everybody.
I'm glad I wasn't here. Because I knew I had not heard that.
I wish you were here because you wouldn't have remembered either.
But I didn't. I wasn't here to
You
even
could
hear
have
the
believed
story.
me.
I told you I
You
never
could've believed
heard
me.
you say
didn't
that
believe in you
story.
at all.
And you said you did hear it. You were sitting right there. And I'm like, I was not here. So when this man says that was never said, I'm like, well, hell, it couldn't have been. I wasn't here. My only fault, Your Honor, is believing in him.
Not the first time that's been said.
That's incredible.
Mom, I hope you're listening. Carey Davis is no longer your favorite.
Tom, thank you. Tom, I'm going to figure out. We got to message me. No, I didn't bribe. I don't have to bribe him. I don't have to bribe him. I'm going to reward Tom. If you want a one-on-one ESPN prize pack, maybe an autograph from Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis, world champ, whatever you want.
Didn't do anything.
All right.
You didn't help me, that's for sure.
Message me on Twitter.
Clearly, that was my only fault.
The Instacart.
Whatever.
Reach out, Tom. I've got your back.
Severed ties from this fella right now.
Oh, go ahead, Carey.
Go ahead. You're going to
One day you'll need me, okay?
About 5
and
to
you
10.
can pick up that phone, and I'm going to go, decline.
You already did that. I called you one week, and you didn't. I was like, hey.
Marsh.
You going to answer?
I'm going to need you for this,
Yeah,
okay?
I was...
Because these guys... Tom.
You understand?
Tom.
No.
Tom.
Nah.
Tom. My man.
Tom.
Way to go, Tom.
Yeah.
All right.
Way to go, Tom. You just made the list.
Of ESPN prize pack winners.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that one too.
I can't believe it. I was arguing with Carey. You look at me and you go, yeah, Carey didn't believe in you. As if you're not the source of this. All right.
Whatever.
I appreciate Tom. Definitely not.
Yeah, Tom, with all his time on his hands to go find that. It's really incredible talent, Tom.
He probably did it in 2 seconds. That's how smart he is. We're the idiots. We couldn't find it. Tom was
they
like,
would have never found it. Never.
I didn't want to find it.
Well, I'm talking about these two. They would have never found it.
Yes, we would have.
No, you
I wouldn't have even tried. I know my limits.
All right. Anyways, it's Clark and Reese. That's what we're going to talk
People
about.
are thrilled with this question, apparently.
They ticked off.
Oh, they hate the comparison. It's just a loose comparison. It's like telling the Cardinals of the 80s when Carey loses his ever-loving mind because they don't steal as many bases. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Fast lane next on 101 ESPN.
Underdog is one of the best places to play the basketball, hockey playoffs, Major League Baseball on a daily basis. They've got outstanding plays for you. Underdog's one of the fastest growing sports game apps. You can play now in our state of Missouri. Their app has over 100K 5-star reviews, millions of players. Here's the deal on Underdog. All you have to do when you download the app is choose some matchups that you like. So you like a certain player. Maybe it's Anthony Edwards in game 1 tonight, or maybe it's one of the hockey matchups. Maybe it's Matthew Tkachuk to get a power play point. Choose whether or not that player is going to go higher or lower on their stats. And if you get everything right after you kind of put your board together, once your entry feels good, you can play for as little as $1. If you get everything right, you can win up to 1,000 times your money at Underdog Fantasy. It's that easy. You might as well get paid off when it comes to your sports predictions, your sports hunches. Don't be the guy that's constantly like, I knew that player was going to go off. I knew that player was going to have a terrible game. Go to Underdog. Download the app, sign up with my promo code Anthony, because then you unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, with that promo code Anthony, and then you can play at Underdog for as little as $1. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/webs/extend.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals pick up a victory last night, 11-4 over the Detroit Tigers. They're back in action once again tonight with Eric Fetty on the mound. First pitch is at 6:45. If you missed anything from today's show, including Jamie getting caught red-handed when it came to the Derrick Henry story, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at Londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. I'm still reading all these comments in the snake pit, which is hilarious, including G-Dog saying, they should add a category to the Gauntlet labeled show trivia. Tom can write all the questions. Gershie's Kiss. G-Dog, they won't do that because they'd all be terrible at it. He's right.
I've said before, I can't remember anything. The shocking part was I was an active participant in that conversation.
You totally were. It wasn't like you were zoned out when I was telling the story. You and I were in lockstep.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Anyways, all right, moving on.
It's Carey's fault for not being here.
Yeah, totally. All right, so, Jamie.
Yeah.
You've been ripped apart for this.
A lot of people on the text line just tearing me apart for my loose comparison of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Mm-hmm. And the reason I say this, because when I grew up on 80s basketball, like Larry Bird and Magic Johnson were not friends. They competed at a very high level, and I understand both of them were super dominant in the game. Both of them are Hall of Famers. And Caitlin Clark, I don't know what the future holds for her, but people are saying she's way better player than Angel Reese. And so, like, this comparison is garbage. You're missing the point. The point is not how good they play basketball. It's the rivalry that has been formed here. It started in college basketball when Caitlin Clark did the "you can't see me" thing to Angel. I don't know why I keep doing that. Okay. Angel Reese, and then Angel Reese did it back to her.
I do it too, Jamie.
The whole thing back. So the rivalry started there, and it carried into the WNBA to where Caitlin Clark took some abuse from Angel Reese. A couple of really flagrant fouls from her. And now it's continued again into, the most recent flagrant foul, and they're going at each other. My point is that the rivalry has brought a lot of attention to the WNBA. Mm. That's the comparison to, like, Bird and Magic Johnson.
Right.
What do you guys feel about this whole thing?
So, Carey, I asked you, and I'd love for you to bring it to the airwaves now. Let's start here. Was that a flagrant foul?
By Caitlin Clark? No. Yeah. That was basketball.
It was just a foul.
It was a foul. It was a take foul. She fouled her so that Angel Reese wouldn't get an easy layup. You send them to the foul line to shoot 2 free throws. And because of the way that Angel Reese responded, that was probably why it got upgraded to a flagrant foul. Angel Reese actually flagrant fouled Caitlin Clark last year, went upside her head, like full arm clothesline across the head. Like, that's a flagrant foul. What Caitlin Clark did, I think it's just basketball, but Angel Reese took it in a different way. And to me, at the end of the day, if you're a hooper and Angel Reese is a hooper, I would have told her, get your butt up and go to the line. Like, it's just a hard foul. And it wasn't even a really hard foul. So the whole thing of what they're going through right now is kind of strange to me. But in your argument or your point, Jamie, I can see how the Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark Magic Bird comparisons can happen because, like you said, they did play in college against one another, same as Bird and Magic did. And then they were pitted against each other when they came into the league. They actually did become friends early on in their career. They didn't like each other, but they were filming a commercial, and I think Larry's mom asked Magic to come down and eat, and he was like, oh, okay, he ain't that bad. So they became really good friends. Imagine Mumsy invited them down, and now everybody's great friends. And so, but the competition part for me is it's bringing eyeballs to the game. Caitlin Clark is the one person that everybody wants to see. And I know a lot of veteran WNBA players are upset or have been upset because they're like, no, we can ball, and she's just getting here.
She held her own pretty damn good.
She has helped grow the game to the point where they are playing WNBA games in different arenas because it's selling out and people want to watch her play. So, in my opinion, everybody should be not, you don't just back down or lay down, but you accept and you appreciate that the eyeballs are coming because with more eyes brings more money, which eventually everybody will benefit off of. If one person is able to do it, no matter why people enjoy it or why they like it, everybody's going to benefit from it. Yeah. So, the rivalry that they have, I think is good for basketball, but just keep it on the court. I don't think it should be anything other than that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you can't sit there if you were in the WNBA before Caitlin Clark got there, right? And you're complaining you're complaining about the attention that is not only being drawn to Caitlin Clark, but your league. You couldn't do it, and now you're complaining about it. You don't have to like her.
No.
But you have to at least take a step back and big picture respect what the hell she's done for the league, drawing eyeballs. I hopped in the car with my son Killian after the Battlehawks game, turned on our station. The play had just happened. Two hosts, two guys were on ESPN radio, not 101 ESPN, but ESPN National. Two guys are talking about something completely different and jumped on this topic immediately. That wouldn't have happened X amount of years ago.
No, not even close.
Jamie, to your point, there's no question that this rivalry has gained a lot of momentum and a lot of steam, and it has attracted not only, WNBA fans, but NBA fans, casual fans, because they can't wait to see what happens next.
So here's where I am on it, apart from just a loose comparison, is I'm just going to be completely honest. And this is just for me. I'm not a huge basketball fan to begin with. No secret. Therefore,
sorry, Carey.
I can't claim to have been a WNBA fan either. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying I am now. But I am saying this, is that even last year, when Caitlin Clark was playing against Angel Reese, I watched. You better believe I'm watching the next game these two play against each other.
Right.
And I can't be alone on that island. So this rivalry of, however it started, which it did start back in college, and now it's carried into the pros, this rivalry has brought so many eyeballs to the WNBA. So for the people who are not celebrating it, or the older veteran players that aren't comfortable with it, they're all going to make more money because of this rivalry.
Right.
And I actually respect Angel Reese in this. She's hitched her wagon to the biggest star in the game and become the villain. Mm-hmm. It's every hero has the villain, mm-hmm. and she's embraced the villain in this one, and she's leaning into it. And Caitlin Clark now is she's pushing back a little bit too. She's a little more confident in herself this year. Last year, I don't know if she would have made that foul on Angel Reese. Mm-hmm. But this year, for whatever reason, the rivalry, and she's a little more confident, she makes that foul. It wasn't flagrant. Yeah. But now, next time they play, you don't think Angel Reese is going to want to give that back a little bit? Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm saying.
Yep. All right, that's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Would you rather have character or expensive talents when it comes to building a winning team?
How about both?
I was just going to say, how about we just nix this right now? If you can't have both. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey Davis for Genesis of St. Charles, and I know you've been driving down the highway. You've seen some of these models, some of these vehicles. They are some of the best-looking vehicles that you can find, and if you haven't been to Genesis of St. Charles, you need to stop by. They are Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. You can stop in today for exclusive in-store offers. They have a large selection of new Genesis models in stock, and they are ready for you to take home today. You can experience the luxury service at their brand-new facility located at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway in St. Peter's, right off of Mid-Rivers Mall and Highway 70. It is a beautiful deluxe lounge. They have some of the best coffee you can buy, and they will introduce you to the suite benefits designed to exceed your expectations. If you don't see the model you want, the color you want, they can help you find it and help you build your dream Genesis today. Genesis owners get a complimentary scheduled maintenance for 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first. 24/7 luxury roadside assistance for 5 years, whether you need a tire change, transportation to the nearest Genesis dealership, or gas or more, they got you covered. And if you are busy, if you can't stop in, you have a busy schedule, maybe you don't want to step foot inside of their store. You never have to step foot inside. You can buy your new Genesis entirely online with upfront pricing, including your trade-in, and even have it delivered up to 100 miles from the dealership. Visit them today online at genesisofstcharles.com. Again, that's genesisofstcharles.com.
play this audio from Nick Kyprios on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. This is his take, and this is an interesting one on why it hasn't worked out in Toronto, and then we'll set up the question that we teased.
The four guys never worked together. Everybody, Mitchie's like a brother to me. Oh, really?
Show it on the ice.
Yeah, that's what you do to your brother on the ice. That's the way you guys stick together. It never worked. And they couldn't realize it up top, that they don't have the personalities, they don't have the character to all work together towards a Stanley Cup. They all went their separate ways. Give me my contract. Give me my no moves. Give me my commercials. Give me this. Give me that. Okay? It was as if they were one-upping each other for 10 years. And you couldn't figure out the whole time that they're not coming together. They're all just do your own thing. Ask for your own contracts and make sure you're looked after. And then they get the results of that, and we're going to blame one individual or two individuals. No, I'm sorry. It goes upstairs. Bad decision to put these four guys together and expect them to lead you to a Stanley Cup.
All right, so strong take. Maybe a little hyperbolic, but I don't think he's that off. So, unless you think so, Jamie, you think he's really far off?
In hindsight, anybody can look like the genius.
Sure.
And criticize the higher-ups. When you have generational talents like Nylander, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner in particular, and John Tavares, who was by far the most sought-after free agent that year,
right? And
you're able to put all those guys under one roof, you're going to ride it out. You're going to ride it out because you think, okay, we just need to add pieces to this.
Right.
So for me, it's a in the now take, not like in the future take. So it's easy for Nick Kyprios to say, it never worked upstairs. This goes upstairs. Okay, but what if it did work? Then what is he saying? Well, they believed in the core four. Like,
very true.
Where
and
was
that's,
Nick
that's
Kyprios
your point.
2 years ago on this stance?
That's a really good point because I feel as though that this is what happens when a team like Toronto goes out and they acquire a bunch of big-time talent. Not all of it was drafted, as you pointed out. And then everybody wants to highlight how great the GM is. The GM is collecting talent. He's not building a team. And I think that's really what other teams have issues with in other sports, other cap sports. Dodgers are different. There's no cap there. So you can go out, Philly, same thing. Go out, spend a whole bunch of money, Mets, same thing. It's uncapped. When teams typically do this in a cap sport, it rarely works because I think you're acquiring the talent. You're almost kind of being lazy, overlooking some of the character stuff that does matter.
Well, they weren't lazy on this one with the Maple Leafs. They sucked, and they had high draft picks, and they used those draft picks on the best players that were available. So it's not like they went and overpaid in free agency for all these guys.
What about Tavares?
Tavares, he was the most sought-after free agent. He grew up in Toronto Maple Leaf pajamas and slept in his Maple Leaf bed sheets. That's the true thing. There's a picture of him doing that. He wanted to be a Maple Leaf, so they went and got him.
Yeah.
So,
are there any other examples of that, or is it mostly drafted and developed?
Most of their high-end talent was drafted and developed.
Okay.
And Tavares was their big signing.
Yeah.
So there's not a team in the league, given the opportunity, wouldn't have drafted those same three players when the Leafs drafted them.
Yeah.
So, again, in hindsight, it didn't work. Okay, you're right. It didn't work. But you also had three players that are 100-point players.
Yeah.
And four, really, Tavares was supposed to be that kind of guy, but he got kind of put into the background because of those three. And I think Tavares still had 30 goals this year.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the point on it is, just trying to acquire all the high-end players. It doesn't always work. You got to build a team, to your point.
Yeah. But if they drafted them, that's different. I thought they had more high-priced free agents that they added beyond John Tavares.
No, and Morgan Riley is their core defenseman back there. They drafted and developed him. Joseph Woll was drafted and developed. They have a lot of players that were drafted and developed.
Well, the Maple Leafs
including Matthew Nyes.
All right, well, hey, the Maple Leafs are the standard in the NHL.
They're not the standard. It's just that the fact is now, the one part he is right about, it didn't work. It didn't. And now you have to, with the Toronto Maple Leafs, now you have big decisions to make because Marner now seems to be the easy one that, we're just going to let him walk to free agency. It's fine. But I don't know if that necessarily fixes everything there. So if you're looking at the model of skill over character, character over skill, listen, you can have 24 character players and that team doesn't make the playoffs.
You ain't going to win a damn thing. You're going to win the public service award for all the great things you do in the community. Nobody gonna win no damn game.
Troy Polamalu, a great character.
Yeah. You can't have
also
a team
one of the
full
best
great
safeties ever.
guys.
You just can't.
I love.
You need the stars, man.
You got to have some dudes.
Yeah,
they might have a character flaw or two. Yeah, but they play well. Yeah.
But what about the Blues? Like team full of character, culture.
You still have some star players
for sure, but they're not Matthews, Nylander.
But again, this
Marner.
goes back to the Oilers, right? We talked about Draisaitl and McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, drafted and developed because the Oilers sucked for a decade. The Leafs were terrible too for like 8 years, and that's how they got all these star players. So, for me, like if you're going to be a team like the Blues. Much like the Panthers were when they transitioned, much like the LA Kings who went through it, the Dallas Stars did the same thing. They managed to stay competitive-ish. I mean, missed the playoffs for a couple of years and whatnot, but then they're right back into it like the Blues are right now. So the Blues right now, they don't have the superstars like Matthews, Marner, Nylander, but they do have players that could project to be star players. Like Holloway, I think, is going to be a star player. Kyrou is. No matter what your take is on Jordan Kyrou, he's been one of your top scorers for multiple years in a row.
He's in an NHL commercial.
He's in an NHL commercial. Robert Thomas, probably going to play on Team Canada next year in the Olympics, which is pretty impressive. Jordan Bennington, we saw what he did for Team Canada. Colton Parayko. Like, you have dudes on this team, but you also have character. Braden Shen, Jake Neighbors, the whole WTF line, Sundqvist, all that stuff.
Do you think Toronto is missing culture, even though they brought in Berube?
Sorry, I'm watching the video over your shoulder. Don't know what's that.
I snuck out when you were doing your commercial.
What was the question, Andrew?
Ran into the guy next door at Fishy.
Even though they brought Berube in because he is that hard nose. He's won, head coach. He's won a Stanley Cup. We know what that looks like. Like, are they just missing culture? Like, do you think these guys could go somewhere else and find success? It's not just them individually. It's what Toronto is as a whole.
I think, Anthony. I think that if Mitch Marner goes somewhere else, like if Mitch Marner next year signed with the Florida Panthers, I think Mitchie Poo is going to be just fine. Because the Florida Panthers have enough character and grit on that team to afford to have a guy that's kind of a perimeter type player. Nylander, same thing. If Nylander came to the Blues, he'd be a great fit. Imagine him playing with Robert Thomas. Are you kidding me? It'd be unbelievable. But you have enough character, enough grit on this team to support a guy that maybe doesn't fit into that category. I think what Nick Kyprios is alluding to is that you have three of those guys. I think Tavares is a character player. He was the captain. But Matthews, Marner, and Nylander have never been able to move the needle because they show up, they come up short in the playoffs. And it's just like any other sport. If you have a player that's a star player and he can't move the needle for his team in the playoffs, Lamar Jackson, right now there's question marks around Lamar Jackson. Can he get his team to the next level? No matter what, those players come into question.
It's the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got What's Trending, and Marsh has turned What's Trending into your mic drops on the Cardinals, including some listener-on-listener crime.
Oh,
this gets interesting. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Johnny Lindoff Chevrolet. They have a lot of unbelievable inventory. I was just out at the Autoplex last night, for that matter, and was able to see so many great deals right there. They had a beautiful Cadillac Escalade that I even went around and take a look at it because I thought about, you never know. I mean, I have been a customer for over 25 years, and I'm sure that I'd look good in that Cadillac Escalade. And so can you. Get out there. Check out the Autoplex. It's the second location for Londoff Chevrolet. It's right off Highway 70 in St. Peters. Really, really easy to get to. And, of course, the original one in Florissant, Missouri. Both locations have great inventory and great pricing, too. The pricing is fantastic right now, and you know that you're going to get that customer service. With Londoff Chevrolet, we know the prices are going to be there. They're going to be competitive. They might be better than other locations, but it's the customer service that really moves the needle for Londoff Chevrolet. You need to get out there and check it out. When you get out there to either location, please tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that, and they're going to take great care of you. They always do. I cannot say enough about the Londoff Chevrolet family. Please get out there, experience great vehicles and great customer service. Again, see them in person or visit them online at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
I don't agree with Lisa. It is not Ollie's fault. Ollie was doing what he was told to get along with Mo so that he didn't take the marching papers like poor old Schultz had to. Thank God Mo is gone out of the picture.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending? Brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. What's Trending is your mic drops. And Jamie, you had the question earlier in the show. Are the Cardinals from the 80s back? And you asked our listeners, and they have responded. And before we get to that, let's mention what we just heard, and that was Janet with a little listener on, listener crime on Lisa. I never thought I'd hear that in my life.
But, Marsh, as you know, rule number one.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody's safe. So
Lisa's
true.
not safe.
Yeah, okay.
Janet's not safe. We're not safe, as we all know.
Absolutely not. All right. Are the Cardinals from the 80s back? Let's hear from Brendan.
I think this brand of baseball is, like Marsh said, how baseball is meant to be played. I think the 80s Cardinals also did that. Again, they stole more bases, but I think overall they have the same ideas of how they're playing the game in their head. They are similar, but their one true identity is different. This team is singles and doubles and move guys over, where the 80s were more about stealing those bases and then finding the hits. You know, this team has a stellar defense. They did in the 80s too. But, you know, there's subtle differences, but the same overall brand and idea is the same. But there are some differences, like the stolen bases, like Carey keeps insisting on.
Thank you. No, I do.
Yeah,
and congratulations on your one thing.
And probably for good reason, too.
And it matters.
You know, that was kind of the identity of the team.
They kind of led the league in stolen bases like 5 or 6 times in 80s.
I expressed what my point was. Fast lane, all of you.
Next thing Jamie will be telling us is that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark,
Gabrielle
Reese, and Caitlin Clark will be like bird and magic. I mean, come on.
I've had a tough day, guys. I've had a tough day. I found out that I was part of a conversation, participated in it, and couldn't remember anything about it. Okay, this has been a rough one for me.
You know what,
Even by
Jamie?
my standards, this has been a rough one.
You know what, Jamie? Here's what I want you to do tonight. I want you to go home, pour yourself a glass of drink.
He's going to do that anyway.
He's got a whole table full of it.
I do.
I want you to go home, pour yourself a nice glass of bourbon. All right? And after that, pour another.
Pour nothing?
Pour another.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
I will.
You've earned it, my friend.
I promise you, I will do that.
Good. All right. All right. This next one for York FX. Jamie, you gave great effort today. Or no, sorry, Jamie, you gave an effort today.
Came in here feeling really good, too, about
you
things.
You did, yeah.
So much for that.
All right, this next mic drop comes from Ryan.
Don't get me wrong. The long ball gets the paycheck and gets the chicks. But I don't think Cardinals fans care about the long ball. They like this winning baseball. No matter how it's done, just win the damn game. That's all it takes. And I think that's all Cardinals fans want. They don't need freaking 4 or 5 home runs a night. We just want to win games.
Who was that, Ryan?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan is 1,000% right.
Just want to win
Completely right.
Yeah.
If the Cardinals were hitting ding-dong Johnsons consistently, and that's all they did, and they were winning, we'd all love ding-dong Johnsons.
Would we ever?
If all this team did was pitch and win every game 2-1, and Carey, you disagree with this, but if they
wholeheartedly,
if they won and all they did was pitch well and found way different hero every night to win 2-1, 3-1, 3-2 games, we would love it. We would love that style. It's about winning. The only thing that matters in sports, in life, is winning. That's it.
Are we still talking about the comparison of the 80s Cardinals till now? I want to make sure I'm dialed in and locked in.
Okay, we're not talking about stolen bases anymore, okay?
No, we're going to talk about,
I'm on to Cincinnati.
home runs.
No, we have some more mic drops.
He's talking about home runs. They were dead last in home runs in 87. Cardinals were. They were first in stolen bases.
Cherry picking years, are we?
85, they were second to last in first in stolen bases. Shall I continue?
Okay, you can fast lane off.
All right. Next mic drop comes from Lisa. This is not a response to Janet, but her take on 80s baseball.
Hey guys, great dialogue. It's like the 80s in the sense that it's fun and it's a better product, I feel, than what's been going on. Trying just to swing for the fences. Home runs are great. Just don't make me despise them because you'll ignore the rest of the game. So the doubles, the hits, it's all good. And here, sitting on May 20th, you know what? I don't dislike Ollie Marmol as much. The team has been fun. All right, everybody, have a great day.
That is progress. That is progress. Man, all it takes is winning 13 of 14 games, 15.
Well, it's his damn job.
Yeah, win every damn game. I don't know if you can win every game.
That's what he's paid for.
Right? He's paid to manage the team and win games. Yeah. I'm sorry. What happened here?
Yeah.
And you know what? Can't even do that.
He's doing it.
Fortunately, the players.
Oh, goodness.
Fortunately, the players are winning these games.
Are they not losing it when they lose?
The players?
Yeah.
No, it's Ollie's fault. Come on. You know that.
That's strange how that goes.
All right, we have one more
mic
from
drop,
Chris.
Lisa.
All right, let's go, Chris.
And this one, it just works well.
Oh, God.
Hey, guys. Happy Tuesday. First-time listener, long-time caller. Wanted to address Jamie's question about the 1980s Cardinals. I was born in 1983 and immediately upon exiting the womb started watching Cardinals baseball. And I can say for a fact, this team plays like the Whitey Ball Cardinals minus the steals, base running prowess. Those players seemed a lot smaller, too, in stature. Tommy Herr, I think, could barely see over the steering wheel in a car. But seriously, I do think Jamie makes a good point. I think the fundamentals are being focused on in terms of base running, just navigating the bases and the batter's box and the field playing defense in general. And so I can definitely see a parallel. With that said, I love watching Jamie get pissed off. It's one of the most funny things on radio, Jamie. I love you.
Things in the world.
But just the way your face looks on that YouTube, holy crap, it's good theater. Thanks, guys.
I'm getting a visual now. I'm not only Chris doing it, but all listeners when we get ticked off. Watching our facial expressions. And it's funny, yet it feels kind of weird. You know?
Yeah.
Like we're animals in a cage.
It's okay.
It's fine. Try standing between the benches where there's glass all around you and people like being in the nursery. They're like pointing at you and making fun of you.
Don't touch the glass.
Don't tap on the glass, please.
Right.
Makes the babies cry.
The animal appears closer than he is.
He is.
Look at these animals.
Well, because that's what you are. You're a big animal.
Jamie took me down there to, like, in between the benches. There's no protection whatsoever.
No, you're pretty wide open.
It's actually pretty maddening. I don't know.
When did you get that invite?
When he showed up early.
When was that?
The one time I did. You get things. It was the day where me and Jay, where I pranked Jamie.
Yeah.
I brought you lunch one day. You didn't bring me between the benches.
At like 1:42.
I was standing in line. And I left the house at 1. No big deal.
Whatever.
All right. Thank you for your mic drops.
Yes, thank you.
Good stuff.
Very
there.
good stuff.
Very good stuff. All right. What should we talk about next? What do we got here?
Foosball.
Oh, you want to talk football?
Speaking of football, did you see that the NFL players are officially permitted to participate in flag football at the 2028 Summer Olympics?
I did see that.
Anthony, you want to be coach?
Yes. I'll put the no huddle in. Beat the streak. Let's do beat the streak and bet the board. Right, Marsh? You like that?
I thought we were going to do it at 5:30.
Marsh hates your idea.
That's why you went 5:30.
I said 5 o'clock.
You said 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
hated your idea.
Let's not do beat the streak and bet the board. That's at 5:30, guys.
There you go. What are we doing now?
Are the Cardinals having their blues moment already?
Greatness?
I would say absolutely not, considering it's May 20th. Yeah. Their blues moment.
He hates your idea.
Have the Cardinals won 12 in a row?
Up.
Have the Cardinals won 12 in a row? No.
Well, they won 10 in a row.
That's two less.
And then they lost one, and then won 3 or 4 more in a row?
All right. Well, we'll talk about this anyways. Then we'll do bet the board and beat the streak.
All right.
Here on 101 ESPN. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Are the Cardinals having their Blues moment already? I say hell no. Absolutely not. Until you win 12 in a row and make the playoffs and actually do something.
Anthony.
That's the only time you can have your Blues moment.
Okay, fine.
Cardinals are playing well, but let's not hand out NL Central awards yet, or even wild card awards.
There's going to be another month before I put anything on the idea sheet.
That's actually true. I don't actually, Jamie. This is a really good topic. Can you your thoughts on it?
No.
Well, hold on a second. Didn't you just say like 2 hours ago that the Cardinals would win the division?
Yeah, that was a prediction. But I'm not going to say, are the Cardinals having their Blues moment already?
The Cardinals are 12-2 in their last 14 games.
That's really good.
That's
excellent.
They're 12-2.
It's May 20th.
But this is the information that we have right now.
When did the Blues go on their run?
Yeah, at the very end.
Thank you.
What is the difference?
I don't know.
Go ahead, Carey.
So the Cardinals had a 9-game winning streak? Is that
10.
correct? Is it 10?
10.
Sure.
It was 10.
I thought it was 9.
9.
No, it's 10.
It was 9 games.
Should have been 10.
So we were you guys
This show is unbelievable.
What is wrong with everyone here?
I'm going to be so exhausted coming out of here.
Quit. So there was a text last week saying
I have been kicked in the balls more in these 3 hours than in my lifetime.
We just shot down every topic he said.
I'm gonna wear a goalie jock to work tomorrow. Sorry,
You're
Carey,
welcome.
as you were.
Nah, there was a text. I don't remember who said it, but they said in order for the Cardinals to actually reach the level that the Blues had, they had a 12-game winning streak. The Cardinals would need to win like 23 in a row based on the percentages of the number of games that they had. So technically speaking,
no.
No.
Okay, so let me define what I actually meant by this segment, since it got queued up wrong.
One thing about him, he ain't going down by himself.
If you leave one breath of air left in me, I'm coming back. Remember, Carey, I was dead on the table.
And you gasped for air, and your insides were ripped open.
So my point of this whole thing was the Blues were going through their retool. They missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, and the goal was to make the playoffs this season. Didn't look like that was going to happen. However, they went and got Holloway, Broberg, and the young players are what emerged for the Blues to get them into that 12-game winning streak at the end of the season, to get them back into the playoffs, to now where we're looking ahead going, okay, this is a team. Like 2 years from now, I could see a contending team with this roster. That's what I meant, was the Cardinals with the veteran talent that they do have, even though some of the veteran talent that they have is still considered younger players, like they're not 30 plus. You combine that with the emergence of Victor Scott, Herrera, Mason Wynn, Jordan Walker, who looks like he's picking up now, but that, and Matthew Liberatore, that's what I meant, are the Cardinals now looking like the Blues? Right now, it looks like they could make the playoffs. If that's the case, it changes a lot of the narrative surrounding the Cardinals from Cardinals fans who were so irate that the Cardinals didn't go get high-priced talent, didn't do all this. They don't know how to draft and develop. Goes back to my comment earlier today, and I will do the research. Most of their roster is drafted and developed by the Cardinals organization, just like most of the Blues roster had been drafted and developed. So that was my point when saying, are the Cardinals where the Blues are now? Because everybody wants to do the comparison, especially when Mo screws up, that why isn't he more like Doug Armstrong? Why doesn't he have a plan like Army? Now, Army talks about his plan. Mo did a terrible job of communicating what his plan was. In fact, he couldn't even name it properly. Didn't even know if it was a retool, a youth movement. Didn't really know. Then his 3 things he wanted to do in the offseason were trade Nolan Arenado. All 3 of them. Didn't get that done. So it doesn't look great, but then when you see the product on the field right now, which is the Cardinals, exciting baseball. They're winning. They're right on the Cubs' heels. They're right there at the wild card spot. That was my point of Blues, Cardinals kind of in lockstep where they're at.
Well, if you would have said that first, then
I did. I literally did. I could go back and read the text that you didn't read because you didn't even know who put this friggin' topic together.
I didn't.
There's your Derrick Henry moment.
Not really.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think it was an excellent point, Jamie.
No, I'm going to go find it now.
All right, while you're looking for
I'd
that.
rather die than not find it.
I know it was in there. I just didn't know who texted. Look, I even did the whole heart emoji to Marsh on the one thing.
I said my thing was, have the Blues done what the Blues did, and do we think it was on purpose or by accident that this has happened?
Yeah.
If it's on purpose, the front office should be praised. Mm-hmm. That was my thing. If you read that, you'd have set it up properly.
Well, Jamie.
Right, Carey?
Sorry, what?
Yeah, he don't know. Even when I do set something up properly.
I'm going home, guys. That's it. We're done.
Marshy?
Yeah, we got a text from Marcel Ozuna's alarm clock. Jamie, you might want to listen to this one. One of the things that the 80s Cardinals and this year's club has in common is they are near the bottom of the league in strikeouts, so they don't waste a lot of at-bats. If he was listening, he'd probably be happy to hear that.
He had a rough day today.
They are third fewest in the National League.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
However, they are still on pace to strike out about 400 more times than what was typical for the 80s
You know what
club.
else they're doing that is like the 80s club? The number of errors that they have. They don't have many errors. The 80s, I think it was 87 and 85. They were lowest in the league in the number of errors. And the Cardinals right now are lowest in the league in errors. Mm-hmm. Now, this man missed all of that comparison.
I hear you. You guys like Jamie?
Nah.
Well, is he coming back? Because we have Bet the Board coming up next. And it would stink if, I don't know, he took some bad baseball team to win a game.
Plus 300.
Yeah.
That'd suck.
Or if maybe he went with Nolan Gorman off the bench for a base hit.
Right. I don't know if there's odds on that, but we'll give him that play if that's what he wants. All right, beat the streak and Bet the Board next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Detroit Tigers tonight. Tarek Skubal on the mound for the Tigers. Eric Fetty on the mound for the Cardinals. First pitch is at 6:45. Tonight, after the show, we'll have Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. If you missed anything from today's show, including all the great ideas from Jamie Rivers, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have Beat the Streak and Bet the Board coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Time for Beat the Streak. We got Ben back on the line. What's up, Ben?
Hey, how you doing?
We're doing good, man. It's been a funny day today. Unless you're Jamie.
Oh, man.
Starting out wonderful.
It's funny for him, too. He's having a good time.
Am I? Yeah, I'm not really.
All right, Marsh, what's our latest streaks?
Got an ice pack on it, Carey.
I have a streak of 17.
Jeez.
17. Carey has a streak of 9. Jamie with a streak of 8. Ben has a streak of 3. And Anthony, you're back to 0.
I don't think I've gotten past 3.
Your longest streak is 5.
Oh, wow. It's long gone. All right, Marshy.
I'm going to go with Mason Wynn tonight.
Oh, you would. You would. All right. Give me Kerry Carpenter. Is that where you were going?
No.
I'm going to tell you that's a terrible idea.
No, I wasn't going to say that at all. I'm going to go with Brandon Donovan.
All right, Ben, you're up.
Jordan Walker. I'm sorry you left him on the board for me. Thank you.
Ooh, there you go.
Thank you for a home run.
All right. Back in the day when I was young again, not a kid anymore, I used to always choose the other team. And now that the Cardinals are winning, I started to jump on that bandwagon, save for last night. I forgot that the pride of Central Michigan plays for the Tigers.
Oh!
Give me Zach McKinstry.
Kool-Aid's brother.
Yeah, they look alike.
You like the
Twins.
Old English D.
Exactly.
He does.
Ben, good luck to you, pal. We'll call you again tomorrow because I know you're going to get a hit with Jordan Walker tonight. Yeah. Right. Ben, we'll talk to you, pal.
See ya.
See you. See you.
Ben, you got any great ideas for the show tomorrow?
He already clicked out on you.
Yeah, damn it.
All right, let's do Bet the Board. All right, Marsh. As you were telling us before the break,
there's a tie.
Jamie Rivers tied me because nobody else hit last night except for Jamie. You should have had the Mets.
Pick the Reds instead.
I know you did. Nice work. All right, so Jamie's at 7. I'm at 7.
That's correct.
Marsh, you're at, what, 5?
Carey and I are at 5.
All right. Now, this is important.
So I go first because I have the win and you had the loss.
Who goes first on this?
I think the person that was in the lead.
Yes.
Initially. That's how we've always done it.
Oh, no. It would be. Yeah, you're right.
It's the person that was in the lead.
He got it wrong last night, so why should he be rewarded?
But
because you just now
tied
him.
Yeah, it's the same number.
Nah. Tie goes to the runner.
Should we give it to Jamie since he's had a bad day?
I'm going to write something down. I'll write something down first.
Anthony, you go ahead. What do you decide?
I know he's writing down.
Jamie, you can go. This would have been my pick on this side. All right, we're gonna do a little social experiment. Because Jamie, go ahead and say your pick. No. Jamie earlier today on Circus Sports, he made a selection.
I did.
But I think his actual selection is on the back of this note. So Jamie, go ahead.
Circus Sports Illinois, the app, they've got the best odds over there of any app right now. Go download, check it out, and compare. Yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes. I'm going to refresh this so they don't pull an Anthony Stalter and cheat.
Mm-hmm. I love how it's him and not me.
Well, we didn't know that what you were doing then.
Yeah, he definitely.
So Carolina Hurricanes at -130. I like that a lot. Home game for the Hurricanes. They play very well. Florida a little tired, maybe a little emotional letdown after the Leafs. A big Game 7 win. I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers +110. It's my bet. That wasn't going to be your bet. I know Panthers +110.
Panthers +110 is what I wrote down.
You weren't going to pick that.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. I knew what you were doing.
Do it to spite me.
I knew what you were doing.
It worked, just like last night.
No, I knew you were going to take the Panthers. That's why I wrote it down. And you know what? You're having a bad day, so I let you go first. But this was going to be my selection.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
That's why I wrote it down.
It's a lie.
Panthers +110.
God hates liars.
Wow. Then you and I both have issues.
I told you I'll call you a liar.
All right, so now that Jamie took my play.
That's a lie.
Of the Panther. It's not.
I'll die on that hill.
That's fine.
I might just go die.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not.
All right.
I hope.
Oh, man.
All right, now I need a play.
Why don't you spite me, Anthony?
No, it never works that way.
I mean, they are a favorite.
Yeah, big, heavy favorites.
I don't like Carolina. That's why I was going to take the Panthers. All right, you know what? I'm going to go to the NBA. Give me the Timberwolves +7. Too many points. Too many points that give Ann Edwards.
Is it on me?
Sure.
Let me check yours first. Give me
+7.
All right, give it down. Oh, you're right. You're right. You didn't do the money line like Marshall did.
You know what? You didn't believe me before on Derrick Henry. You don't believe me now.
I
That's
wasn't
fine.
there for Derrick Henry.
Somebody said which one is going to get Jamie's yearly slap today?
Tom from the Snake Pit.
Seriously, Tom.
Give me Kyle Tucker, 1.5 hits, runs, RBI, -145. It's right here.
I believe you, Carey.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I trust you.
Thank you.
I'm going to go to the NBA tonight as well. Same game.
Parlay.
I'm not doing a parlay today. Naz Reid, 18-plus points, rebounds, assists for the Minnesota Timberwolves at -125.
All righty. Let's bet the board.
Low. How much? What'd you say it was?
-125. Or how many points, rebounds, assists?
18.5, you said?
18-plus.
For who?
That was low.
Naz Reid. Maybe it's just a good pick.
Carey's he's been upset. He's been upset the last 2 days. He went into the weekend upset. Something that transpired here in in the studio.
Anger.
And then he came back and he was upset.
I kind of carry grudges at times, Anthony. I don't know if you know that or not.
No, not you.
Yeah, me. Definitely me. Oh, definitely me.
All right, when we come back, what we learned, criticisms and compliments.
Oh.
What?
Nothing. Get the show over with, please.
At the restarts of the day next on 101 ESPN.
St. Louis homeowners, are you thinking about selling your home, maybe upsizing, downsizing? Perhaps you're having to just relocate for a job. Well, when life happens and you need to sell your home, I recommend that you talk to my friend and trusted realtor, Gloria Liu, with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria understands every seller's situation is unique. It is true. Nothing is ever the same twice, especially with people. Maybe you got a job promotion. You want to upsize. Maybe things aren't going well. You want to downsize. Maybe the kids are out of the house. You want to downsize. All of that right there. There's different questions and different challenges for each and every one of those situations, which is why you call Gloria. She's been in the business for over 20 years, and she's going to give you the best possible advice. If you're selling your home, she's going to know exactly how to price your home to, one, get you the most money available out there and sell your home fast. And she's going to make sure you get to the closing table. That's the biggest thing. She's going to find you a solid buyer for your home. So please pick up the phone. Call Gloria Liu today. Her number, 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit her at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or the 101 ESPN Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. Podcast, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. I think it's only appropriate to allow Jamie Rivers to go first in what he learned today.
I learned that sometimes we think we have really good ideas. and we get excited about said ideas. And we even provide extra context to our ideas, and then we present them to a group of people who kick your ideas right in the balls.
Soccer balls.
Oh, it doesn't matter at this point, Anthony. I've had a bad day. Might as well ride it out. Yeah, so I learned that I should just not put any ideas on the documents.
No,
it's fine.
They're great.
Not a terrible thing.
That's what I was going to say. I learned that when one of your
Finished dead last
coworkers
day.
works hard and puts together great topics, and the group doesn't agree necessarily, that coworker says things during the break that make you laugh out loud.
That's true. Oh, man, I can't wait to be home.
Marshy.
I learned that our listeners have a lot of patience and typically come up big when you need them to.
Yeah.
In particular, our guy Tom.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a hero, Tom.
Yeah, what I learned is that, and you know, maybe it's more reaffirmed than learned, but what was reaffirmed to me today is that not all heroes wear capes. Not all heroes save lives. Some heroes listen to countless hours of our show to dig up something that I clearly said right to Jamie, who then participated in the conversation. only to say a month later.
2 months later.
Month and a half later.
Yeah, it's closer to 2.
that he never heard it. Not only that,
I presented it as my own idea.
He presented the whole thing as his idea. Claimed he never heard it. Go out on camera.
I need to reevaluate my entire life. I gotta write things down. I'm gonna be like
Tom, you're a hero.
I'm gonna be like that movie 50 First Dates. At the end of every day, I'm gonna write down everything so that the next day I can read it and remember things.
Oh man, it's incredible. All right, Marsh.
Yes.
Criticisms and compliments, please.
Yeah, we have a few text messages. The 830 reactor. Why does Jamie like to stir the pot so much?
I don't stir the pot.
This thing, favorite thing to do.
I don't stir the pot.
Sure you do.
Nah,
all the time.
I paid a lot of money to do that.
The 314 says, which one of you are going to get Jamie's yearly slap today?
No, we already noted that was going to be Tom.
Tom's game.
He's
too much time on his hands, Tom.
Tanisha says, great show, fellas. You guys had me laughing the whole 4 hours. You all are so hilarious. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you,
Tanisha. Thank you. Very kind of you.
She's very nice.
Somebody else in the snake pit said I didn't laugh one time.
No. Well, why not?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had a bad day.
That's a shame.
Is that Jamie that texted?
Even I laughed.
Yeah.
Even I laughed today.
Yeah.
From the 314, you guys are fast lane nuts today.
Yep. Very true.
Yeah.
From the 618, Jamie, when I'm having a bad day, I go home, have a couple double bourbons, and tell everyone to kiss my butt.
Oh, that's going to happen for sure. Except my mom. I'm not telling her that.
Do you think Momsy listened today?
I'm gonna come home and she'll be like, son, I'm just very disappointed. I've never been this disappointed, except for that time you passed the puck right to the Colorado Avalanche and they scored the goal. Yeah, that was pretty disappointing too, son.
Before she just lists off all
the things. Yeah, like that time that you got on stage and you didn't think you'd have to present, and then they said you had to present and you had nothing. And that you just winged it for 10 to 12 minutes talking about Australia.
When was this?
That was 5th grade. I didn't think I was supposed to go that night, so I put it off. I was going to do it. And they're like, and up next with Australia, Jamie Rivers.
What grade?
5th grade. I talked about Aussie rules football. I'd watched a game on TSN like a couple of days before. And I talked about Aussie rules football for 7 or 8 minutes. Then I talked about koala bears and snakes. And then I talked about the Opera House. Like, I had enough in my database to get through it. I actually passed the assignment. It's incredible. But she was disappointed in me that day, too.
Jamie, I did the same thing in 7th grade. Adolf Hitler.
Oh, wow.
I was assigned like people that, like historic figures. I had to do one on Adolf Hitler. I had to provide notes and everything. Wing the whole damn thing. My teacher looked at me. She goes, all right, very good. Where's your notes? I go, I don't have any.
It's all up here.
She goes, she said, you don't have any notes? No.
That's all up here. Ever tell you about the time I had a paper in high school? Yeah, my brother took the topic like 4 years before.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even write it out. I just took his copy and handed it in, put a new cover sheet. Teacher's like, yeah, this is a great paper. Was 4 years ago, too. Mumsy disappointed.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay.
Kids do strange things.
They certainly do.
Live, laugh, love, guys.
Yeah, that's right.
You guys ready for the 3 stars?
Absolutely.
This might be the most anticipated 3 stars, at least in my opinion.
It's time for the Fastlane's 3 stars of the day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
That's funny. Okay, our 3rd star of the day. It seems like it was so long ago that we were having this conversation about 2 former pros. And our 3rd star of the day goes out to the 1 Average Joe.
All right.
I'm not sure which one it is.
Yeah, we don't know if it's Marsh or me, but
It's okay.
This was highly debated in my mind on who should get the 1st star and who should get the 2nd star. But my goodness, this guy's had one doozy of the day. We're going to give the 2nd star of the day to Tom.
Tom, you're the best, Tom.
I don't think you mean that.
Real quick, G-Dog goes, the teacher said, did you just Stalter me?
Started early.
I guess so. That's hilarious.
And our 1st star of the day goes out to Jamie's Ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly
Excellent. Clearly mocking it. That's fine.
No.
Clearly.
Honestly, in all sincerity, like, your ideas were very good today. I don't know why we just crapped on them. They were good topics. Good ideas, presented well, but it was just one of those days where everything, we were running downhill. So.
I was running downhill face first into a rock.
Oh, man. But have we laughed any harder?
It's been a good day.
It has.
I'm glad I could help you guys out.
I appreciate it.
Jamie, you brought you really did bring the thunder right before we came in today.
Thunder from Down Under anthem. It's actually an Australian dance. They perform in Vegas. Often confused with the Chippendales.
Sure.
They're not. Though.
Yeah, they're different.
Again, thank you to Australia for one more thing.
I can just see you up there in 5th grade, completely winging it.
Dude,
out of Australia.
And I didn't even know how long the presentation was supposed to be.
No.
I just gotta be 10 to 15 minutes, right? Okay. I kept looking at the clock, like, okay, I got another 3 minutes in me. What can I talk about now?
Oh, man.
I think I even talked about Crocodile Dundee movie not actually being filmed in Australia.
Oh, my goodness.
Funny thing about that movie, guys, anyways. All right, well, we'll try to be more serious tomorrow, but probably won't happen. We got Hurricanes and Panthers game 1 pregame at 6:30 tonight. I hope you enjoy that. For Andrew Marsh, for Gary Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.